Today, you guys, I want to talk about men who pander to black women. I don't know if you guys saw this. Hey, how you doing, Gabrielle? I don't know if you guys saw this dude. I think his name is Larry W. He made this post, talking about how, he not talking to black women or whatever, but he wants to know from like Asian women, white tea women, and Hispanic women or Latinas, like what about him what do they like about him? Basically, would they get with him? And all I saw was like, because I think he's deleted the video now. But what I saw is comments from all the other races of women telling this man why they wouldn't talk to him and that he need to stop trying to put black women down and all of this. So let me tell you something. After this man deleted that video, because I went to his page and it was not there, now I see he done put up a post praising black women, talking about, oh, black women, you're not seen, you're not heard, you need some love and all of this other stuff. And, I just wanted to say, there are so many black women that are quick to believe a panderer, quick to believe a man that says something that may have some level of truth to it. That's the reason why men like the guy Larry W. feel like they can just say anything to black women about them, and then all they have to do is make some type of fake video acting like they love black women afterward. You know what I'm saying? And I want black women to stop trusting these men that come online. Like, honestly, they're not your allies. They're not your friend. More than likely, I would say 75 to 85% of them have self-hatred. You know what I'm saying? Issues. They probably don't even have black women that they're talking to in their lives. And then the other 15% of them may have black women in their lives, but they still don't respect or care for black women. Because honestly, in my opinion, as a black man, if you're not making content strictly for black men, then what are you doing? If I don't see nothing but black men in your lives, that's who you're catering to, that's who you're talking to, I don't believe nothing that you're talking about. If you saying that you care about black women and you're an ally for black women, and all I see is black women in your lives talking to you, uplifting you, sending you money, they're moderating for you, you're taking all your material and things that they say from them, you're regurgitating the stuff that black women have said verbatim, you are a panderer, period. And, I just don't know how many more times, like, black women cannot be offended by this. Like, you should literally be offended that a black man really felt like it was okay to come on his page trying to throw out his little net for Asian women, white tea women, Hispanic women, then turn around. And once he gets played and dogged out by the women tear him up, as they should have. They had our back, but as they should have tore this man up, then he want to come and make a post talking about he loves some black women. No, you don't, sir. No, you don't. You don't. But what you think is that black women are stupid and that all you have to do is say something nice to a black woman and she gonna believe what you say. And what's sad is that the reason why these suckers believe that is because there are so many black women that are quick to believe something that a man say. Like, and I really wish that more women would understand, not just black women, but black women are all who I care about. But I wish that black women will understand that you can never listen to what a man say with his mouth. You cannot. The thing that you have to look at is his actions, and actions alone. The actions going to tell it all day long. The words can tell you anything. He can tell you, oh, my black queen. Oh, you're so beautiful to me. I love your kinky hair. I love your dark skin. I love your unambiguously black features. But then you go in that following list and all he's following is Becky's. You know what I'm saying? And Mayling's and freaking Esmeralda's. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I just really want to talk about this. But if anybody wants to talk about this scenario, just send me a request to get in a box. But I really do want to talk about The fact that right now, because Black women are receiving so much disrespect and degradation in front of the eyes of the world, that, a lot of Black men and non-Black men at this point, it's not just Black men, but it's non-Black men too, believe that they can pander to Black women for an easy lick, easy clout, easy money, easy everything. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Black women, for the state that we're in right now, we have no space to be that trusting. I have no idea why there are so many Black women still extremely trusting. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you this trusting? Like, there's literally no reason for you to be that trusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Like, when has the world shown Black women that we should be that trusting towards men that say anything positive? Because if Black women were loved the way these panderers say, Black women wouldn't be the most unalived group of women in the United States. They wouldn't be. They wouldn't be the most ex-trafficked race of woman either in the United States if they were so loved by the everyone. They wouldn't be. There would be people standing up for us. If Black women were so loved, Black women wouldn't be kidnapped and taken, and nobody's looking for them. Nobody's checking for them. Nobody's trying to find them and see where they at and what's happened to them. If Black women and Black girls were so loved, a large percentage of Black girls, by the time they turn 18, have received some type of unwanted actual contact or actual touching or some type of, violation of them, molestation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If Black women and Black girls were that loved, that wouldn't be happening. So it's just like, come on now. Something in the milk is not clean. And I just, you know what I'm saying? I hope that, collectively, we as Black women don't need validation from men, because if that's what it's about, we got to unpack that as well. If you need validation or you need kind words from someone else, you need to start looking to each other, looking to your sister, looking to your best girlfriend, looking to your mom, looking to your grandma for validation. Looking to men for validation is never going to work out. And all they're doing is attempting to manipulate you. Truthfully. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If anybody wants to come up in a box, let me know. You can. I saw you, Gabrielle. Hey, how you doing, sis?
Hey, Triggered. Yeah, thanks for letting me up again. I did want to weigh in on this because I definitely feel like the whole, men of all races, not just BM, not just white men, but men, period, pandering to BW. I do think it's an issue, and I think that a lot of it comes down to discernment. Like, even if someone is saying, like, the greatest things, like, oh, we love things like, oh, we love BW, we think BW should be protected, even if someone is like verbally saying all of that, I think you have to look at it and say, like, where is this coming from? Like, ask yourself, are they motivated to like seek money? So like, if a quote unquote influencer is saying this, then he's like, donate to my Cash App or buy my course, he has an ulterior motive. I mean, I think these days you really cannot take people, and especially men, at face value. Like, you really need to, I don't want to just say use discernment, because I know that's going to vary for everyone, but just like on a basic level, just like ask yourself, is this person, really for my demographic, or are they just, saying what they think sounds good and saying what they think is going to get them clout or clicks or, I don't know, TikTok likes or whatever. And when it comes to men, period, like, this is just my personal opinion, but I think a lot of men, like, collectively are going through a very, like, dark, energy or spiritual whatever, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So I do think more of them are going to spiritual whatever, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So I do think more of them are going to start pandering to women. I think a lot of them want to siphon women's energy, and so they might do that through like starting arguments with women online or going the exact opposite route. Like, earlier today, I just bought a book called Men Who Hate Women. So yeah, I definitely think discernment is great, and I would be very leery of any man who is like verbally talking about like how much he loves women. Like I feel like men who truly respect and value BW or women period, I feel like the minority of men who are like that, they show it in their actions on a daily basis. They don't have to say, "Oh, I love BW." They don't, or just like a genuinely great guy is never going to say, "Oh, I'm such a great guy." You know, I'm so this and so that. Like anytime someone has to tell you how great they are, especially a man, they usually are not that great. And the same goes for pandering. So yeah, I just want to throw that in there as the live gets started.
All right, all right, all right. I appreciate you, Gabrielle. Yeah, I mean, and this may even be more extreme. You know, I may be more extreme thought than you. You can let me know though. But I feel like you shouldn't trust any man unless you know him personally.
No,
Unless
I
you actually know him, like, and you know that he's been tried and tested and he actually cares about black women. I don't trust no black man or white man or any race of man that get online and talk about he love black women. I don't trust none of them.
no, I don't think that's extreme because I've seen how men speak about women, men of all races. Because some people are going to say, "Oh, it's BW, it's white T men," and I'm saying this myself as someone who has never dated BW and has only dated white T men. Like it's really is just men period. Because I've seen what these guys how they speak about women in the manosphere, and there are men of all races in there. So it's not so it's like all of them. Because I don't think what you're saying is extreme. I really do think you have to vet men. And as far as men who are pandering, I mean, just I know discernment is going to vary for everybody, but that really is just like the best way I can think to like put it. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. It definitely makes sense. I just, like I said, you guys, for everybody that just came in the room, the reason why I decided to make this is because I saw this viral video of this guy named Larry W. And he had made this post, talking about how he wanted to know if, he's probably just gonna try to stay away from black women or something like that. So he wanted to know what about the Asian women, the white T women, and the Latina women, like what they like about him, or I guess basically just trying to see if he could get some women that would bite on the hook. And I promise you, those women tore that man to pieces in that comment section, tore that man to pieces. And then, so I went to his page and he had deleted that video, but then he replaced it with a video talking about some black women. You're ignored and not seen and not heard, and nobody loves you enough, black women. But I'm here and all this other BS. And I'm just like, see, disgusting, disgusting. Okay, Just Justified says she saw it. Yeah, that blew my mind. Oh, and thanks so much, Coach T. Thanks so much, sis. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's just crazy to me, like how everybody just feel like, oh, the black woman, she don't get no love, she don't get anything, so all I gotta do is just say a little bit of something to her and she'll go for it. Like, and what's sad is that I see black women going for it. And I'm not even gonna be messy and say the things that I've seen black women go for on this app, but it's definitely a problem amongst black women for sure. It's not all of us. Yeah, and but I definitely think if y'all want my true opinion, I think it's like a 50-50 split. A 50-50, 50% of black women that are smart enough to not fall for the BS, and then 50% of us that will. And that's sad to me. And I want the numbers to at least be 75-25, man.
Add one thing. I didn't mean, I'm so sorry if I cut you off. I
Oh
didn't.
no, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I think, so when you said it's a 50-50 split, I think a lot of women don't realize how much men try to siphon women's energy. And I really didn't even realize this until like maybe within the past year, but so many men literally have nothing going for themselves. So it's like they need to withdraw energy from women. So they need to somehow get women to engage with them, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, like just having a woman's energy, they literally feed off that. And I just think, like we were saying, the 50% of BW who don't realize that these men are pandering. Unfortunately, I think some of those women might be more male centered, and so they might look at it and say, I think some of those women might be more male centered, and so they might look at it and say, oh, this is a guy who gets it, he's for women. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, if a guy is like if the guy, the way he's talking about women, if it's like too positive, too over the top, nine times out of 10, it's performative and he just wants women's money, attention, clicks, views. Like it's not genuine. So, I mean, I really think that I really think that more women need to realize that a lot of guys are just siphoning energy, whether they're doing it on a spiritual level, on a financial level, emotionally, they want to feel better about themselves. Like you said, Coach She, yeah, they literally are desperate. Like these guys do not have anything going. They can't produce or generate anything on their own, so they have to like suck it from women like parasites. I hope that wasn't too extreme for this live, but yeah, that's
no,
just
no,
what.
no. I totally get what you're saying. And I definitely think male centeredness plays a part too, because I'm gonna tell y'all, I wasn't even gonna say this because people leave me crazy comments on my videos on YouTube all the time. But y'all know that I had a little thing with controversial Shannon. And also the public offender, I said some things about him too. And so this lady commented on my controversial Shannon video, and that, mind you, that video was like 2 months ago, bro. I'm already off that, But this black lady came in there and said, like, she had never left a comment before because I clicked on her name. She said, I watched some of your videos and I've watched controversial Shannon's videos, and I can tell you right now, he cares more about black women than you ever will, you ever do. He knows exactly the experience of a black woman and why you're talking about pandering and things like that and money being made. Like, I'm sure that you get something out of making these videos, and I can't believe that you would talk about controversial Shannon like that. And she was just calling me all of these names and saying all of this crazy stuff to me. And it blew my mind because I had responded to her, but she didn't respond back to me. She deleted her comment because I told her, I said, at the end of the day, I'm a black woman. All right. I'm not controversial Shannon. Controversial Shannon can say whatever he wants to say about black women, but he's not a black woman, and he doesn't have to go in this world as a black woman. Regardless of whether I was delusional about black people, black women, black experiences, whatever, at the end of the day, one day something's going to happen to show me like, hey, yeah, you're a black woman. Look at what you're going through and enduring at this time. And I was just flabbergasted. Like, I hadn't been to that video in a minute, right? And read the comments. So it was a whole bunch of women that had left comments within this last month defending that man and saying, crazy stuff to me. And it was just like, so you mean to tell me that you will go against a black woman that has the same experiences that you do in defense of a black man that is on video calling black women a B word and also dismissing the very demographic that he claims to be advocating for? I was like, what? It blew my freaking mind. It blew my mind. Not to mention that man told me that his name ring bells and I ain't popular, I ain't nobody, and he's somebody, and tried to like make me feel like I was like this, I don't know, peon compared to him. And it just blew my mind because ain't nobody with a ponytail puffball on the top of their head. I had blocked him, so I don't know if he still got that puffball that he had. But the last time I saw him, he had a puffball on the top of his head. Ain't nowhere in the world no grown man with a puffball on the top of his head is gonna tell me nothing. You ain't even get your hair lined up, player. I can't respect nothing that you talk about. You don't even groom yourself before you turn your camera on. Like, but anyway, I'm just saying, like, yeah, and that really led me to believe, not trying to be messy or whatever, but that just led me to believe, like, wow, like there are some black women that are truly, truly, truly delusional and out of their freaking brains and really believe the things that come out of men's mouths. Like, I just can't even believe it. Like, honestly and truly. Like, in what world would you take that Negro's word, over mine? Not that you have to trust me either, because it's not that like black women can't do things that's untrustworthy, because they can, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if you was gonna believe somebody, you wouldn't believe me, who has to live the way you live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who has to, when I go out for a run or I go work out, that I have to worry about thinking protecting my vagina. Like you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, all right. I mean, it just blew my mind, like, honestly. And I think that that's something that, like I said, I think it's a big problem amongst Black women, but I do think it's 50-50. I think, yeah, I think it's about 50-50. I think 50% of Black women have discernment, like Gabrielle was talking about, and the other 50% do not. And those are the women, the other 50% are the women that you see that get on these TikTok lives and be like, oh, yeah, I was working 3 jobs, paying all the bills, paying his child support, and I just found out he cheating on me while I'm working all my jobs. Oh, you know what? I knew that he was beating the brakes off of 18 women before me, but I decided to go ahead and get with him. And I was hoping that he wasn't going to do that to me. Or, hey, I knew that he had 8 baby mamas before me and he ain't take care of none of the kids, but I decided to be baby mama number 9. I do believe that 50% is like that, honestly. Because it's just like, what are you doing? And honestly, the things that I see on TikTok of women, the things that they say, I'm just mind blown. Like, I'll tell y'all, I don't know if y'all saw that new trend where people will be like, this is me and this is the guy that I was losing my mind over or whatever. And jump scare. Do you know how many pictures that I slid to the right and seeing men that look like literal monster men? Like, they look so disgusting. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, who are these men? These men look like they belong in Freddy Krueger's nightmare world. Like, who are these men that y'all are letting penetrate y'all? Like, what? Like, I'm talking about these men ugly, men overweight, men dusty, men looking broke, men hair all over their head. I'm like, these are the men that y'all are out here crashing out about? Oh my gosh. Like, I'm just flabbergasted. And then even the other trend that women were doing, like, where they were talking about all the things that men had did to them. You know what I'm saying? And women were talking about, oh yeah, he cheated on me with my best friend, but I took him back. I'm so embarrassed. Oh, he took all the money out of my bank account and bought a PlayStation and Jordans with it, and I took him back. And I'm like, are y'all crazy? Like, what is going on? And you know what, Kelly? I'm gonna tell you what. I've saw some women in their early 20s, but I've also seen women in their 30s doing this trend in early 40s, and it has terrified me. Because I feel like if you don't know no better and you're 30, you don't know how to not be played, you're never going to learn. That's my fear. And that's why I say that I really do think it's 50%. 50% split of Black women and young Black women that need freaking help. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Money Cash Dollar says nobody's worse than the old school mammy mules. You know what? I definitely think that the old school mammy mules are bad for sure. But I also think there's something crazy about you being 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 with all of this access to social media and access to seeing other people's life experiences, and you're still fucking up. Like, you got all of this information that those old mammies didn't have. All of these women that try to give you game and tell you how not to be played with. And if you letting yourself be played with, I can't help you. Like, you should know freaking better, in my opinion, because you have way more tools at your disposal than, the old mammies did. You know what I'm saying? But not that the old mammies ain't bad too, because I'm not saying that. Because the old mammies are the ones that turn their head when their nieces and their daughters were touched on and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all bad. I can't even make a differentiation in age. I just can't do it. Because when I see the old ladies do it, it makes me sad. When I see the middle-aged ladies do it, it makes me bad. When I see the young ladies do it, it makes me feel bad. Like, it's all bad to me. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Noe, let me know if I'm saying your name right. Noe, Melly. That's exactly how I was. My mother did not give me any information, any tools, anything on how to not be played by men, how to not be dogged out by them. That nobody told me nothing. My father told me, the same thing that all men tell their daughters, that men are no good, but I didn't get any tools for information. After my first husband played in my face, okay, and did me dirty, I said never again. Never, ever, ever again. I promise you. I said never again. And I said I was going to stay on business for the rest of my life and never let a nigga play me. And, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to say that. You ignore what I said. Ignore the N-word, y'all. But I'll just say, I said I would never let a man play me, and I never did ever moving forward. Ever again. Okay? For real. I remember after I got divorced, a little while later, I ended up getting a boyfriend. And I remember I told him, I said, listen here, if you ever play with me, I'm going to immediately dump you and I'm never going to talk to you again ever in life. I really mean that. And I guess he thought I was playing. Something occurred. I dumped that dude. I never talked to him again. He used to blow my phone up. He used to really try to get me to talk to him. I never, ever, ever, ever talked to him again. And I never got okie doked again because I was really serious about that. And I think that I really want more women to be like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got one good time. I respect anybody that's had something happen to them one time because you didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? But women that have gotten played and dogged out by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different men, at some point, you got to say, hey, man, it's got to be me. It's got to be me. What am I doing? Why do I keep getting played with? Why don't I recognize, a man that's not good or bad? Or at the very least, why am I not cutting these Negroes off the first time they play? Because you can't stop nobody from playing with you. However, you can fix your reaction to it. You can say, oh, okay, bye. Nope, won't be talking to you again. You know what I'm saying? Or money, cash, dollars. You could also say that. But see, my thing is that when people say, you could just stop dealing with men in general, and I'm not saying that you have to. There's plenty of women that have decided not to deal with men at all. But I will say that, there are some women that want the comfort, or I don't know if comfort's the right word, but maybe like they want a man, for lack of a better word for yourself. I think that there's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with also not being with a man at all. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being with the man. I just think that when dealing with men, you have to know how to do it. And I think that goes even if you get married. Like, I just feel like, and I don't know if this is like a relationship with a man, he has to know that even if you love him, even if you care, that you respect yourself more than anything. And that you're not going to play like that. You're not going to play with him. That you can and you will leave if you need to. Like, I don't believe in letting no man feel like, oh, I'm going to be here forever, no matter how you treat me. Oh, the live is skipping, you guys. Well, y'all already know what that means. That means somebody's reporting the live. That's exactly what that means. So if you guys could like the live, I'm going to go through and see if I see any men in the chat, and then I'm going to go ahead and block them. But if you guys could start liking the live, getting the likes up, that should help combat the skipping. But yeah, that's definitely what it is, which is y'all, I swear, like the men, because I already know it's men reporting, or probably Shannon supporters, because I did mention that dude. Y'all trying to report this live when I'm just trying to put women up on game. You know what? You wrong. Okay, go ahead, sis. Go ahead, money.
Hey, hi everyone. Do you?
Oh, snap. No. I'm sorry. I muted you. Go ahead, Money. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay, no problem. I was just saying hello. And did you want me to continue talking about what you're currently saying, or did you want me to answer anything on your prompt first?
Oh, you can say whatever you want to, Money. Whatever you feel like
Okay.
saying.
All right. So since we're talking about your conversation, I just wanted to follow the lead with you were stating, okay, so I was looking at it like this. If we already know the risk of dealing with them, even though, let's say we try to go back in and say, I'm going to better myself, I'm going to have better standards, I'm going to vet better, this and that, I'm going to check his name on the FBI list, and all these other things to just keep one. If you have to go through all of that, is it worth it to have said companion or whatever the women need from these men that are in the homes?
Well, let me say this, Money. I've been married, right? My first husband was absolutely horrible, the worst of the worst, a horrible human being, utter human scum. And I divorced him. I did get married again. I'm married currently. I divorced him. I did get married again. I'm married currently. I've been married, it'll be 16 years this year. To an amazing man. He's nice, he's kind, he's never given me any problems, never cheated on me or put his hands on me or called me out my name or anything. He pays all the bills. He's a very good man. I understand the risk factor, and everything that you're saying is completely correct. I think that it is a risk factor still in dealing with men, because I don't believe my husband is representative of the collective of men. So I can't say that there's anything wrong with what you're saying. I can't say that there's nothing wrong, logically speaking, on what you're saying. I just only ever say these other things because I feel like it would be hypocritical for me to just advocate for women not to engage with men at all, knowing that I have a husband at the house. You know what I'm saying? Because and he's a good man. He's not knocking my head between the washer and dryer or no crazy stuff. So I feel like I would be fake if I didn't say that, because people be like,
That's
okay,
like married,
you know.
like married women saying decenter men.
But you say that one more time, Money.
That's like married women saying decenter men when a married woman cannot officially do that.
I mean, well, I feel like, well, I don't think that I can. I mean, I guess I can decenter the majority of men except the one that's here, because I literally don't have any contact with any of the males besides him, because I don't really like men, to be honest with you.
Right, me either.
I already told my husband that when we got together. He was like, "You don't really like men, do you?" No, I actually don't. So I think you could do it a little bit, but can I do it the way a woman that is completely doesn't have men in her life? Probably not. But I will say, no, I'm not a fan of men. I don't trust men. I don't like men. I don't care what men have to say. I don't care about their thoughts and opinions. I do let them come up here, but oftentimes it's for just entertainment and comedic relief for the ladies, so that they can watch me tear them apart. But yeah, but I mean, I do understand everything that you're saying, but I do think that I don't want to take anything away from what you're saying, because I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're saying. But I will say I think it's a little bit maybe unrealistic to expect that all women will not have, some women will have a desire for a partner or a man. Because I think that there are women that will have that desire. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. But I think that the best way to do that is to give women the keys to success on how to best navigate it, regardless, if that makes sense to you.
Okay. Second question. As a happily married woman, what were the things that you saw to let you know that your husband never cheated on you? Like, what was your lifestyle like, or how do you know he's never cheated?
I mean, he is.
And if it's out of line, I definitely understand. You don't have to answer that. That's your marriage.
It's a little bit out of line, but I
Understand.
I mean, I still answer it. I mean, he's a good person. And you could say somebody like, hey, you don't know your man, you don't know what's going on. I'll just say that in my opinion, in a marriage, you never know what's going on. No one knows what's going on in a marriage except the two people that are in it. And I don't know if you're a believer in God or anything like that, but I am. And we're connected on a spiritual level, an emotional level, and God put it in our path for us to be together, and that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, but other than that, I mean, other than me telling you my personal daily life, which I'm not prepared to do.
No, absolutely not. Just the basics, like you say, just the just the keys to sex things, just the keys to sex things to look out for if you were to, to say, okay, he has never cheated, etc. Now, my thing is this: if my spouse cheated on me, but I never found out, is that okay to say that he never cheated
I mean,
because you just never found out about it, so the
well,
marriage is
my
good?
spouse never cheated, so
No, not
I
yours.
can't
Let's
say.
let's say in general. Let's say if we never knew, but he did do that. Could I still say he never cheated because I never found out?
I feel like you will eventually find out. What's done in the
Got it.
dark will come to the light, and men
Okay.
aren't that smart. So I think
Yep.
that your statement would be giving men a whole lot of credit, which would not be credit that they would deserve. A man that's a cheater, a man that has cheated, a man that will cheat, he will manifest that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And
And I don't think it'll just be one time either. Yep.
no, and it'll never be just one time. It will
Yep.
always be something that will be a ongoing situation. I don't think
Got it.
that a man that's in his that is willing to betray his wife and be a cheater and do those things, that's going to be something he does on a regular basis. And when even if you might not find out about that one time, you'll find out about the further times, because there will be further times. And also I think like I said, it's a in my opinion, it's something that you'll be able to see. Period. But was that all you wanted to ask me, Money? Or did you have something else to say, sis?
Listen, I can ask you 1,000 questions, but I see other people are coming up. I'm just gonna wait and allow the conversation to flow. So, but thank you for answering my question so far.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Let me go over here. Go ahead, Rave.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Rave. Go ahead, sis.
I just wanted to piggyback off the conversation that Money Cash was having as far as like not being able to decenter men while being in a relationship because or married because I'm in a relationship, but I feel like I decenter men in the sense of I still show up for myself and I still put myself first. Like I still have a social life, I still have activities and things that I do that are outside of my relationship and I don't like prioritize like wanting to look good or feel good besides anyone besides myself. So I think that like that's another way you can decenter men while still being in a relationship. It's like yes, you want love and yes, you want a partner, but you also like care enough about yourself and you have a life outside of that partner. So I do think two things could be true at once when it comes to that conversation. So I wanted to chime in on that. Um and also, when it comes to the prompt, be men and non-be, so black men and non-black. Can you explain the first sentence?
Yeah. The first topic was, it was just talking about like black men and non-black men who pander to black women. That's
Oh
all.
yeah. Oh yeah. So basically, that is everywhere on social media. Most recently, I have another account where there was a like gay man who was pandering towards like black women specifically, specifically with the whole DL thing. I don't know if you guys remember the whole DL whisperer thing. It was like a big thing for a couple of months. But like I had already like exposed him for like purposely going after these men and laughing in black women's faces saying, haha, I'm with your man. So you really have to be careful because a lot of those people, if you go back to their history, you will find that the very same thing that they are pandering, once upon a time, they were like maybe red pill or anti. And when they found out that it wasn't lucrative for them, that's when they came on the whole, let's love black women. Let's be obsessed with black women. So that way they can, get likes, views, monetary goals. So I agree with that too. They pander just for money.
All right, all right, all right, Rave. Okay, so I'm gonna go up here to Gabrielle. If you have anything to say, sis.
Yeah, I did kind of want to piggyback on the conversation that you and Money were having. So, like, I definitely, kind of like you, Trigger, I definitely understand the sentiment of like not dealing with men entirely. But at the same time, I do think even in the current climate and with the way that so many guys are, I do think that I think it's possible to have a healthy relationship. So I definitely like, I mean, again, not saying that women have to deal with men. I'm just saying I do think that there is a world where, women can have healthy relationships with men, but the man himself has to be equipped for that. And I do think that, like I said, just like paying attention to like whether if a man's pandering, like paying attention to like why is he saying these things, or if you just happen to be out and you do meet a guy, you do feel like there's like a genuine spark or connection, like definitely being open to that. But at the same time, if you're going to go into a relationship, making sure that it's adding to your life in some way, because I'll be on like social media and like I'll see women say like, oh, like I've emptied my 401k to like, I don't know, pay for this guy's child support and now he cheated. I just feel like stuff like that. I feel like there were many steps before that where that could have been prevented. Again, I'm promise I'm not trying to victim blame, but I just think that where relationships go wrong, a lot of the time, if there's a lack of discernment or male centeredness, but I think if you're a healthy minded woman, you can almost organically filter out, men who don't mean you well. And like, I do think there are more bad men than good men, but I guess I just want to say, like, I do think healthy relationships are possible, albeit they might be getting harder and harder to come upon. Because I've been on TikTok and I've definitely been on those pages where there are some women who will say that, oh, love doesn't exist. I've definitely been on those pages where there are some women who will say that, oh, love doesn't exist, period. Romantic love is a myth. Like, love is only for your children. I definitely don't agree with that end of the spectrum, but I get that that end of the spectrum is almost like an overreaction to like red pill, I'm sorry, an overcorrection to red pill and like the stuff that we're seeing the collective of men do these days. So I'll just land my plane there for now.
All right, Gabrielle. Okay, so let me go back down here to Money. Did you have some more questions for me, Money?
Yeah. See, I might be red pill then because I'm gonna tell you why. The femicide rate is increasing, and I am just stand firm as if I get it's a hard pill to swallow, but I don't believe in love, like Gabriella said, and I just want to, and this isn't from a bitter mindset. It's from I took out everything, all emotional attachment, and I looked at how the average men behave. And all those things that she stated was, like she said, having discernment. I can't just go out here and allow a man to just walk up to me and, everything is going to be all gold. It's not random like that. As for when a man, if he goes out and look for a woman, he has a higher chance of finding a good woman. And so we have to go through all these things, like I was saying earlier, like she said, having discernment, looking him up on different websites, making sure he never harmed other women. And we just never really know. Even if he did, let's say, became a better person and tried to change, he still harmed women. So it's just like, where is the hope coming from? Or why would you even still want that when you know the majority?
Okay, I had something to say, but I think Gabrielle wanted to respond to you first, so
Absolutely.
I'll let her go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, no, Money. I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like, believe me, I guess. Okay, here's a good way to put it. This is just me, not speaking for anyone else, but I just feel like, just like on an individual level, I feel like it would be a shame, like just speaking for me, like let's say I was out one day, I met a guy, and this is like a genuinely decent guy, and like there's like a connection, he's not in some like weird red pill manosphere loop or whatever. I feel like for me personally, it would be a shame to pass up on, a real connection with someone because of all of the bad men. And I feel like in a way, going to the opposite extreme is almost like letting the red pill and manosphere guys win, because like obviously, like you said, like the femicide rate is increasing and men collectively are definitely a problem. But again, like I said, as a woman, if you were to meet a guy and this guy is not one of the problematic men, and this guy actually is decent, and you intuitively feel good around him, like I don't know, your inner being just feels like, okay, like this is someone I can trust, and he consistently proves that over time. I feel like to not be open to that, period, like in effect, you are letting the bad guys win, for lack of a better term. Like you're depriving, like that is like depriving yourself of a healthy relationship because of like the bad that is out there. I just don't think that that's a good way to live. But again, I do get where you're coming from. That's just my response to it.
Can I clarify something really quick? I think the difference between me and a lot of women is they actually want to have that connection with men, and I think I don't. So that's why I kind of like don't really care about if they're good or not. I just don't want to take that at all. Yeah. So I'm like not with it at all, and I'm not a part of the community. I have children, etc. I'm not hurt. I'm not bitter. I just don't want a relationship with a man. So I have to learn to understand where you all are coming from, because you all still would like that if you did find someone that is decent. Is that fair?
I'll let Gabrielle respond to you after I say this. I didn't want to forget it. I'll say that looking at, I don't know, like I said, I know some people look at things on a spiritual level and some people do not. I'll just say, I think love is real and it exists. And it's something that really, literally all beings, whether it's a man or whether it's a woman or whether it's even animals, experience that in some way, shape, form, or fashion in another. I don't think that there's anything wrong with love or wanting love. Now, love doesn't necessarily have to come in the form of a man. Love can come in the form of friends. Love can come in the form of children. Love can come in the forms of parental love. Love can even come in the form of having an animal, having a cat, having a dog. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I happen to find the love of my family, my children, my dogs, and also a man. I do feel like sometimes when you look at the horrible things that happen in the world, and this isn't saying that this is you, Money, because you said it wasn't. But I think that sometimes it can make you become jaded or make you become like, you know what, all of these things are going on, and I just rather abstain and not have anything to do with anything as far as any type of men because of all of the things that happen in the world. Because, men do commit the majority of all violent acts across the globe, and this is everywhere. And so I can understand the apprehension there. But I say a slippery slope is when you may think that your experiences or the experiences of some things that you've seen as the experiences of everyone, because not everybody is living a different reality. Like, I'm not living a reality where I'm like Jay-Z and Beyonce and I'm worth billions and billions of dollars and I can just do whatever I want any day, all day. And I can stay at a $250,000 a night hotel. That's not my reality. But just because that isn't my reality doesn't mean that doesn't exist. For some people live that life. And there are some women living a life with a man that is not cheating on them, not beating on them, treating them with respect, giving them love, and living the way that he needs to do as a man, and they're having a healthy partnership. That's some people's realities. That happens to be my reality. There are also women that have realities like my mother. After she divorced my father after 20 something years, she left and decided that, she was going to live her life and do all the things that she wanted to do when she was a young person because she got married really young. That's her reality. There are plenty of Black women that live that reality too, that they have decided to say, hey, you know what? No, thanks. It's just going to be about me and, whatever relationships that I foster moving forward. I just always believe in not going to the extreme side of either perspective for the most part, because once you allow yourself to go to the extreme where you speak in absolutes, then that's when you don't speak from a rational perspective. You start going down a road of irrationality. So I just think that it's always best to kind of like, toe the line, because we know that there are different experiences for everyone. But like I said, though, I understand the apprehension in any woman saying, hey, I don't want to have to go through running his name through the registry, or, building time to where I'm seeing like, hey, can I trust this dude? Is he right? Is he on board? And the whole host of red flag, examination that women, in my opinion, should do, because I think there should be a whole list that women do, when it comes to if you're interested in men. But that's a whole nother topic entirely. I've already talked a million times about what I feel like if women do want to be in the dating game, you have to be overboard, and I was, and I feel like that also can can what's the word I'm looking for? That can also manifest in indecent results in navigating a dangerous situation. Because I do believe that if you are interested in men, it is a risky endeavor to undertake. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think I need to go down here to Rave real quick, and then Simply, because Simply's been up here, she hasn't had a chance to speak, and then we'll go back to Money, because I'm sure Money wants to respond to me and Gabrielle. Go ahead, Rave, if you had something to say.
Yeah, also like I think that like everybody on here proves a good point on it's totally okay if you don't want to engage with men or have anything to do with men, because if I was single right now, I would definitely just be completely celibate, just based off the things I see and having other single friends and just knowing how like very dangerous it is also sexually and how promiscuous men are. That's another scary factor. But all in all, I do see where you're coming from, Triggered. And I like to have a positive mindset. So obviously, Money, I'm not trying to change your mind, tell you how to think, how to feel. You're a grown woman and you are entitled. And I respect the fact that you know yourself enough to know what you want and what you don't want. But also too, I do believe in love. I do believe that there is someone for everybody. And I do believe that like there are some good men out there. I still choose to believe that. Because I have a really, really amazing boyfriend. And like I say, he's obviously just like you said, Trigger, like we don't know if we could find another of what we have, but because we get to experience that, it would be unfair to just say all men are inherently bad. And I'm gonna land my plane there.
Okay, all right, Rave, I'm gonna go down here to Simply, and then I'll go back up here to Money, that way that she can respond. Go ahead, Simply.
Hey, Triggered,
Hey,
and
how you doing, sis?
hi, how are you?
Pretty good.
As always, you always have some great topics and great talking points. I definitely, um, am always appreciative to be able to catch one of your lives. I definitely just was just listening to, the topic of discussion, and I definitely understand where you're coming from. I also understand where Money is coming from as well. Um, I too had to, and I do apologize for my nosy background. Um, Hopefully it's not too noisy. Can you hear me?
No, it's fine. I hear you, sis. You can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I too am dating. I do believe that my significant other is the exception to the rule. I definitely had a lot of stuff. I was trying to keep the things that I wanted to, like the talking points I wanted to bring up and piggyback off the conversation, but it's a mouthful. This is definitely a great topic, but yeah, like as far as women, just I know earlier you were like earlier in the discussion when I first got on the panel, you were talking about as far as like like the older you get, like women, it's like okay, after keep encountering the same type of men or getting played with, it's like how many times are you going to learn, or how many times, like and I definitely get that. I do feel like because just looking back on like my own situations and experiences and stuff like that, like I definitely like I'm at an age now where it's like, dang, like, I wish I knew better. Like my mom, I grew up with both my mom and dad. My mom didn't teach me the tricks of the trade, when it comes to like dealing with the opposite sex and navigating that whole, dating and vetting or whatever. And then even like with my dad, like he told me some of the same stuff, just like what you were saying, like, just the general things, but as far as like putting you on game and how to spot like a manipulator or womanizer or whatever the case may be, I kind of had to learn that on my own. Couple that on top of so being naive on top of the brainwashing, all of that stuff. I do feel like that kind of can aid in a woman continuously being played with, especially um feeling like, having this ideology like, okay, it's not all men. Yes, I do agree that it's not all men, but I do feel like it makes more sense to treat all men like they are. Okay, like I know the legal system now, right? It's like you're innocent until you're proven guilty. Well, back in the day, it was the opposite. It was you were guilty until proven innocent. I do feel like when it comes to men, it just kind of makes more sense. Like when we keep talking about vetting, I feel like vetting should should kind of look like I'm not going to say kind of. I do feel like with women, I feel like vetting should look like it's all men until it's not all men. Or oh okay, countdown. Okay. Yes, I do feel like it should be all men until it's not all men. Or um I feel like the good man is not going to take offense to that. A dog is not, a hit dog is not going to holler if he know he's not in that category. And I feel like when it came to me, me and my significant other, um that was my mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not bitter, but I do feel like I'm at an age where it's like, yes, like I can see that it's not just a BLK community issue. It's women all over the world who are experiencing the same things or complaining about the same things. Just like Money was talking about the femicide rates. I do feel like if you have to go and do a background check, you gotta keep up this, guard, or you gotta, you be so apprehensive, or if you feel like you gotta, you know, I don't know. I definitely understand where she was coming from. Like, if you got to go through all of that, you might as well just you might as well just take yourself out the dating game, and just bask in the temporary connections. I think I seen somebody in the comments that was saying, like you were saying, Trigger too. Everybody's situation is different. Like, we're all experiencing different things. Some women, they're disentering men until or in hopes of finding the right man for them. Some women are decentering men and they're completely they remove themselves from the running game, what I'm saying, from meeting a man, or having that hope. They just completely removed it. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, especially when you're talking about femicide rates. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we say, we have these high femicide rates, but then we're still trying to hold ourselves up in hopes of meeting this guy who was for us, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. As far as some, I know some women believe too, like there's somebody out here for all of us. Me personally, I don't really agree with that, but to each his own. You know what I'm saying? We all that's the beauty of it. We all coming from different backgrounds, have our own different opinions, philosophies, there, whatever. But yeah, I know my boyfriend, he already knows. Like, when we first started dating, he already know, like, I'm this the second you try to play with me, anything ain't looking right, my heart telling me something, whatever, you're gone. And I feel like that's the reason why, he shows up, because I demanded that from the jump. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like a lot of women need to start going about that. It really just comes down to self-love and prioritizing yourself and your own mental health and peace and sanity and safety over the idea of having a mate. And I'll go ahead and land here.
All right, all right, all right. I appreciate you, Simply. All right, let me go up here to Money. Because I know Money probably wants to respond. So let me go and mute everybody. Go ahead, Money. Did you have anything to say, sis?
Well, I was just thinking, like, okay, maybe it's like when they tell us the risk of having, unprotected sex is the way y'all are looking at things. Like, okay, we know that if you lay with someone, it's bound that they could possibly have something. So instead of just doing that, maybe put on a wrapper, etc. So I'm just trying to figure out, and what the rapper looks like. Okay, I vetted him. I see who he is as a man. He's shown me the things for years at a time, and now I can take it off.
I mean, I don't know. For me, I can't speak for the other ladies on the panel, but I can speak for myself. Me personally, if I wasn't married at this time, I wouldn't try to be married.
Got it.
Just because of what I see. And like, let's just say something, God forbid, happened to my husband. I wouldn't feel like I would ever be lucky again. So I would never do it again. I feel like that what I have is a once in a lifetime thing, and so I would be single moving forward. Me. Now I can't speak for anybody else. If they would move forward and try again and look again, they may, but I wouldn't.
No, I hear a lot of women say
But
that.
I wouldn't, and I like. It's not that I don't like. I love being married. I love my husband, but me personally, if something happened to him and he was not here, I would just know I would never look again because I wouldn't feel like. First of all, like I said, I really don't like men. So I like one man. I do not like men. So there would be no reason for me to even try. But somebody else, they might want to try, and they might want to try with the different ways that I feel like are the smartest way to move. But that's all I can say for me. But I do understand what you're saying about the like approaching it the way you do with protected sex and stuff like that. I do believe that it's a risk, but I do believe in life everything is risk based. You know what I'm saying? It's just different things have a different risk factor. It's just like when you like when insurance companies are trying to figure out if they're going to give you life insurance, and they do a health profile on you, your age profile, your race, your gender, and all of these things, and they give you, they give you these different things on how they're going to, what they're going to charge you for, because they have all these different, a list of things they go. I think the same way is what you should do when you're looking for a partner, or you're interested in dating. That you need to have a list, a checklist. You need to not go off, deviate from that checklist, and all of those things will help you in making it the least risky route possible. Because everything is risky, everything has risk, but you're talking about having the least risk. That's just how I feel about it. But like I said, if it was me moving forward, no. But once again, I always feel weird about saying these things because I'm in a different situation. But moving forward, nah, I wouldn't. Just because I feel like with the thing of social media now, with red pill, with all of this brainwashing that even younger men are undergoing, I think it's messing up even more of the pool than the pool was already messed up. But I think it's even adding more dysfunction to the pool. Our ability for social media and all of that, and how easily men are manipulated, by the things that they hear from other men. If that makes sense. Did you have something to say to that, Money? Or
Got it. Absolutely. No, I see T here, so I know you probably just want to bring her in.
okay, all right. Well, I'll let T speak, and then just let me know whenever you want to respond, Money. Let me go down here. Go ahead, T.
Hey, lady.
Hey, how you doing?
How lovely, Trigger. What's going on?
Nothing much. I missed you.
Girl, listen, I just been chilling, getting ready for the summer, cause now that the kids are out of school and everything, it's about to be a wrap. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm gonna have to put this boy in summer camp or something. I ain't driving me fucking crazy. I'm sorry for my language. Absolutely not. So, what I'm just gonna chime in on what you said about the part with not getting remarried. I 100% agree with you, Trigger. Like, I feel like me and you are exactly alike on that perspective, that like what we have is rare. Honestly speaking, if we really gonna be honest, is very rare to actually get with, let alone be in get in a relationship with a healthy minded, decent man. It's very rare because of how these men are operating. And I don't feel sorry for the younger women, because being single is not a big deal. Like, I already mastered being single, so I'll just go right back to being single. It's just the only difference is I'm gonna have his money being single. That works out for me. And as far as the prompt black men or non-black men pandering to black women, I always find that to be suspicious. I don't trust men on this app that panders to women. I'll be honest with you. I don't care how nice they are. I don't care how soft spoken they are. I don't care how much of the rally good things that they're saying. I always side eye them, and I don't trust them, especially if they're non-black. Because the first thing I'm thinking about is what you going to use a black woman for? What you using black women for? What are you trying to promote? What are you trying to do? I'm always suspicious, you know me. So yeah, black women should start looking at each other for validations. You know what I'm saying? And then it's funny how me and Supervillain was talking about that before, that, like, we come up on this platform and we say, like, we could be our own, affirmation. Like, we can big each other up all day, every day. And we usually do. We usually tell each other the truth. Like, we be hitting each other with the stone cold facts. And then we also remind each other how great we are, how special we are. It's to the point you really don't even need a validation of a man, because if you really think about it, men like to deal in delusion. So they don't even care if they're ugly. They don't care if they fat, as long as they have money or whatever the case may be. They feel like they could be the shit. And even if they don't got money, they still got something in their brain that they feel like, because they're a man, that they're special, especially BLK men that feel like, like they're the most desirable men on the planet, even though they still face racism, even though a large percentage of them can't read, don't got no GED, make only like $50,000 a year, but they're the most desirable men on the planet, of course, right? So yeah, that's all I got for now, because I see my baby looking at me in my face. We made eye contact, so he about to scream. Hold on.
Yeah, I definitely understand where T was coming from. I know when T was talking about not trusting the men on the app, you already know. I've already said that I don't trust none of the men. I don't trust no man, like none of them. Like none of the men that come on here and talk about, oh, I'm gonna help black. Well, first of all, generally speaking, nobody tries to help black women in real life. So why in the world do I think a man that decided to set up a camera for some reason is about to be the savior and Superman for black women? Like, be for real. And the fact that there are black women out there supporting black male creators, and y'all already know who I'm talking about, with a white wife and sending this man money, y'all are the biggest goofies of all time. Honestly, and the fact that some of y'all have went into my videos and cussed me out and called me everything but a child of God on behalf of this man that said that black women are ghetto, I cannot even fathom it. Really, honestly. And even if you got a black wife, I don't trust you either. And the fact that I feel like, and this is where I say that black women are easily taken advantage of, because and what their desire a protector. And I've already said that black women collectively are not, we're in a bad spot. I know black women want to feel like they're protected, like other races of women are protected by their collective of men, but unfortunately, that is not us. We don't have that. And black women coming online thinking some random Negro is going to protect you and be the defender of black women is wild. Black women getting mad at that dude, like I said, with the puffball on the top of his head, because they don't feel like he protected them adequately as a black man, is foolish. If you feel like your daddy in your life, or your brothers or men that you've been involved with, have not been protectors of you, and you feel like this Negro online is going to protect you, you're bugging. Like, you're literally insane. And I just don't know what to say about it. And I was shocked that so many black women was mad at me for saying that. Like, and I still don't have no problem. I ain't scared. Can't nobody whoop me. I said controversial Shannon. That y'all expecting a man that look like that to be your protector and defender, you're nuts. For real. You expecting a public offender, some dude walking around with nail polish on, kissing 40. Like, what do y'all really think that those are the type of men that are gonna protect y'all? Like, I'm flabbergasted that that's even something that black women are even on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might as well believe in fairy tales. Y'all believe in the cat in the hat. You know what I'm saying? That he gonna come in your house and make you some green eggs and ham, if that's what you really believe. And for the life of me, any black woman that like may hear what I'm saying in the outside and you haven't clicked on this, don't say nothing to me in my comments. Don't say nothing to me on my live videos. I'm not going to change my opinion. And if you are willing to go against me for those dudes, you proving my point already. Like, you already proved my point. Truthfully, that you're like a delusional psychopath. Like, I really, You know what? I probably shouldn't even said it like that, but that's just how I feel. I feel like it's crazy. But anyway, T, you was about to unmute yourself. Was you about to say something? Because then I'm gonna go up to Gabrielle and then Calandra.
Gonna say like, girl, I posted a whole video of him calling the black women bitches on his
Yeah, I
platform.
saw that. I
If
saw your
they
video.
listen, if they did not change their mind after I have showed them video evidence and him cursing out the women in his audience, calling them bitches, they're not going to, like, come on. And we wonder why. And these are the same people, these same women that would tell a woman in a DV situation she should leave at the first red flag. But meanwhile, y'all still
Exactly.
there supporting him and listening to him, not only being emotionally abusive, being verbally abusive, because he did it more than once. He did it the first time. I caught that on 4K. And then he did it again, and those women are still there. And not only they're still there, they will defend him with their last breath. If you was to say, yeah, he's misogynistic, he's abusive. No, he's not. No, he is not. So at that point, I just say, you know what? I myself is starting to get frustrated with these type of groups of women. Honestly speaking, if I can, still love them, still black women, I still love them, but it is annoying. I'm not gonna lie, it is annoying and it's frustrated when you go, okay, we all here for a purpose to help each other, and then when the help is there, and then we're showing it, like, yeah, like look. Oh, it's because like, really. Nope, that's all I gotta say. Like, girl, if video evidence is not making them change their mind, nothing will.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, like for sure. Like I said, I used to try to like really, really go back and forth with them and try to get them to understand my perspective. But lately I just be blocking them because I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just it make me feel like there's something intellectually off. Like, you know what I'm saying? But hold on. Money wanted to respond. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to Money first, then Gabrielle, and then Calandra. Go ahead, Money.
Yes, I just wanted to say, and thank you for letting me respond. I wanted to say to the public issue how, he was cooking at first and everything, and just how he was telling the man, but then I still felt a little something was off because I just don't like men in general, like you said. And so, but the things I was trying to, calculate all the black men that were coming on his panel, and I'm just like, this is more fuel to the fire of why I am the way I am. But then one of the black men said, well, how are you on here telling us what to do when you have a white wife? I said, what? Because I didn't know that. And then that's when I was just like, okay, yeah, let me just unfollow him. Wait, I don't even think I was following him. I think he was in my FYP so much because of other black women that I followed. And plus, just having a whole black TikTok, FYP. And so I kept seeing him, thank you. I kept seeing him on there. And I was just like, oh, no. One thing about it, Cynthia G always said it and she broke it down. Nobody who's not out of all these beautiful black women, even if someone was biracial, I'll give him that. But to go completely white, nah, no thank you. You have nothing to say to me. I don't want to hear it. Black women go through too much, zero excuse. And I'm not telling nobody who to love, but I'm telling people who to love, if you follow my drift. So
All right, I got you, Money. Let me go up here to Gabrielle and then Calandra. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I feel like in this day and age, there's so much information available online to, avoid getting okey doked by men, whether it's in real life or on social media or with people like Controversial Shannon. I mean, like in 2025, you literally have guys online openly giving the playbook to how they manipulate women. Um, Even a lot of these guys who are pandering, I mean, if you go back far enough in their profiles or even listen to other women who follow them, like a lot of them will be exposed for, previously having, put out red pill content or, said the opposite, and then they switched to try to quote unquote be pro woman or, pro BW after, they saw that is where most of the money seemed to be. and I know I mentioned discernment earlier, but I really do feel like if you as a woman are discerning and know yourself and just are just culturally aware of stuff that's happening, you really can, avoid getting played by men, period, or, giving them your money or supporting men who don't deserve it. And I'll just land there for now.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so let me go down here to Kalandra. You there, Kalandra?
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on real quick. Let me turn the music on.
Okay.
I had to turn the music off. But I want to say that I followed both of them from a video that I saw, but I definitely can't believe it because, like I said, these men don't be for women like as much as they say they do. Unless they're, hold on, wait.
Okay.
I had crying, so I definitely can say that I definitely believe that because, like I said, they definitely had some lives. When they started defending that just a girl woman, I was like, that's a red flag right there because I don't know how you can get online and defend her. But it's not really surprising to me. I definitely don't think. But like I said, it don't really be surprising to me when I see black women defending men like that. Because like I said, you have black women every day saying, I'm on DDG side because I have a son. And it's kind of like, why don't you raise your son to be more decent? Why do you feel the need to take up for black men with the response that you have a son unless you're telling us you ain't raising your son right? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, Kalandra. Let me undo your that just 1 second. Hold on. Oh, sorry, I muted myself. That was a mistake. Sorry about that. I was gonna say, I really don't understand, why some black women need to be almost like validated by black men or their experiences. Like they need to have a black man say something that a black woman has told them 1,000,001 times, even something that they know is also to be the case because they're a black woman living that experience. I'm not for sure why. It's something that I know T Scorpio, she gives women that do that a lot more grace than me. I really have a difficult time, with it. But I did want to ask Kalandra, like, who did you say was defending Janine Just a Girl?
Supporters. I think I had saw them defending her on one of these lives. I think Public had joined the live where he was kind of like defending her when she was getting kind of like dragged online.
That's crazy to me because I have no idea in any world, in any place that you could defend Janine Just a Girl. She purposely makes content to make black women look bad while being a black woman. Like she literally have like video clips where she'll put at the top like black women are mean and evil and nasty. You know what I'm saying? Or black women are ghetto, or black women's mentality is sick and twisted. And it's just like, exactly, are you unaware of what you see when you look in the mirror? Do you not aware that you a black woman or no? Like anybody defending that lady, I already know that you on some BS and that you want to hear, even if it's on a subconscious level, even though I don't believe it's on a subconscious level, that you want to hear black women be degraded. And you want to see it come out of a black woman's mouth. That way you can say, oh, see, it's a black woman saying it. I'm not being a hater. It's a black woman saying it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that pick me that looks tired. Absolutely. And not see, this is about to be a messy life. And even with her, like listening to women like that, like you listen to a woman that is trying to act like she's better than you because she's married, which being married, being unmarried, being whatever, that doesn't make you better than somebody at all. But all I know is that if you come and you get online and you start stunting on single women and you start telling them like, hey, I got a ring and y'all single and y'all bitter and y'all this, that, and the third. And then I go and I see your man and your man look like a plate of mashed potatoes. I promise you, that's crazy. If I go and I check out your man and your man got doggone grits and cornbread and burnt spots and plaque all underneath his gum line and brown spots all over his teeth, what are we talking about? Like, what I really need to know exactly what would a single woman have to gain from having your man? What would she have to gain by being her being married? What? Like, you know what I'm saying? I go on there, I see your husband speaking. He sounds like somebody dropped him on the head 35 times as a baby. No good English, no vocabulary, just sounding slow and delayed. You know what I'm saying? Short, unattractive, no hair. Like, exactly, you clearly look like you paying all the bills. So, like, exactly what where in the flex is that? Huh? And if you're supposed to be uplifting black women, why would you want to put down any black women that don't have your experience or whatever? And what part of that is promoting sisterhood? You know what I'm saying? Like, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. And anybody that I see defending her specifically, you just automatically going on the block list. I don't even think that I would even dignify you with a conversation unless it was a debate. You know what I'm saying? Unless we were debating something. But other than that, like a real conversation, no, absolutely not. Because there's no way in the world you can flex about something that nobody even wants and would be discussed about. Nobody want that man but you, girl. You took that man from the homeless shelter and put him in the shower with his clothes on and washed him up. All right? And then try to polish him up and say that he's somebody. You can't polish up a turd. But anyway, let me stop.
Can I add something to that real quick?
Yeah.
For me, like, this is my whole issue with us as black women, right? I think it's very telling if you marry a man who creates a broken home. I'm really sorry, especially if you don't have kids. I don't support that. I just feel like you marrying a man who created a broken home and you out here talking about bitter baby mamas, I definitely think that says a lot about you as a woman. The problem with us as women is, like, just a girl, she's very male-centered. Like, y'all don't never look at them baby mama and think she trying to help you. You look at it like she mad and jealous of you. And see, that right there is a red flag. When a woman starts talking about a man baby mama, that's the number one red flag about her. I'm sorry.
I agree. Like I said, I already knew that there was something mentally wrong with her when I went and saw what her husband looked like. I already knew that she was a deranged maniac at that point, because ain't nowhere in the world that you telling me that you anywhere going into bed and letting this man penetrate you. And he looked like a doggone character off a Wrong Turn. No way. He looked like Michael Myers, bro. There's no way you gonna make me think that you're mentally stable, and that's the man that you said you gonna be with. And that's the man that you trying to hold over other women's heads as if you got the finest man in the entire world. I don't know, whatever black woman in this life, whoever y'all think is fine. You know what I'm saying? That's the way she represented, and that's not. Let me stop, because I give black women grace the majority of the time, but I really don't care for her. It's a couple black women that be on this app, pick me in. Women that be on this app, pick me in, and I think I dislike them. I think that's the word. And the reason why I dislike them is because black women already have a hard enough time with being misrepresented and people trying to make it seem like we're public enemy number one, And I can't imagine you being a black woman and want to add on to that. Because what are you doing for you? Because she has a daughter. So what are you doing to make the world better for your daughter? You making people look at black women even worse than what they are with your voice, So women that do things like that, like, I really seriously have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I really, 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 really do. Because when you make everybody look at black women badly, which people already do, what you do is encourage more violence, just like Money was talking about earlier. She was talking about the femicide rate, which I talk about a lot. You are adding to the increase in those numbers of Black women being attacked and unalived with the words that come out your mouth. And why would you do that? Because when people see you on the streets, they don't know you a pick me. They don't know that you're a bootlicker. They don't know that you would give your left boob for male validation. They don't know that. All they see is a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I can't respect none of that. Like, for real, I can't respect that at all, because there's nothing wrong with you being married and you using your voice to uplift Black women as opposed to punch down on them because you feel for some reason that you're in a better position. Like, that's disgusting to me personally. But let me go down here to Supervillain.
Hey, girl. I feel like I haven't
Hey,
been here
sis.
in a minute. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Get these likes to the likes she deserves. We're having a great conversation. I'm just gonna say something to the specific topic. I think I missed out on what happened earlier. Sounds like I'm glad that I did. So I don't need the recap. I'm just gonna say this, and I love what you said about giving Black women grace. I I understand that Black women, there is a collective part of us that have a feeling of love, right? That lacking of love for whatever reason it is. Maybe not on an individual level. I definitely understand that. You know me, Triggered. I say I come from a father who taught me and raised me to be a real strong Black man. So I don't never had no pick meism in my heart, never. But as a collective, I do understand that there's this lack of love that we're looking for. Unfortunately, for some reason, getting it from each other is not enough. When we take our energy and put it in everything else, I mean, we'll touch something and it turns to gold. But for some reason, the love from one another as Black women, as a collective, is not working. I don't understand why. Again, when we touch anything else, it turns to gold. But when it's each other, it does not work out. I don't understand why. That's something we need to investigate. I am not against these Black men or non-Black men saying good things about Black women. I will never be against that. I'm against the Black woman falling for the okie doke. If you need to hear something nice, I have no issue with that. It's the muling, the throwing, the hitting the cash apps, the throwing the gifts, all that stuff that comes afterwards is that part that makes me absolutely cringe. You know I'm a misandrist. My thing is men are for DNA and labor purposes only. If you gotta use their nice words to boost you up and get you a nice little attitude when you wake up in the morning, I'm fine with that. Go ahead. But don't do the, oh my goodness, the muling, the doing people's back discords and all. Please, can we stop doing that? Can we put that energy 1/10? I'm begging y'all. 1/10 of that energy that we put into these panderers, into ourselves. Do you know how disgusting it is when I will come off Trig's live? We had such a great live, just women empowered. And I scroll and I see a Nignock saying the same thing as Trig. And there's a 50 million people in that room. And they throw in cash apps and they throw in, and I'm like, what the, what? What? Because I don't understand. I told you need to get you a voice changer or something and start talking in a male, a deep voice. So I'll be coming up in here with my deep voice. I'm still not attracting the women. I don't know what's wrong. But I'm going to just say this. I understand the need for that love, for that validation. And unfortunately, it seems like it's very male centered. But I want to point out something to Black women. Again, I said it before. Whenever we touch something, for the most part, it turns to gold. There is nothing a Black woman hasn't entered, no field, no media, no music, no textiles, no fashion that Black women haven't entered. And we did the damn thing and raised the standard, even in freaking politics. Why can't we be enough for one another? Why me or Trey or I don't know where my girl T is telling y'all that we love y'all and Black women you to shit? Why that's never enough for y'all? Why y'all gotta hear that from a dude? A dude who he's lying. Which by the way, again, I don't mind you getting the energy boost from there, but don't go over there and mule. Use your energy in places where the women that look like you and love you and respect you want to do good things for you. And I gotta get back to capitalism, the true enemy, but I just want to throw that up there. Thank you so much, Trig. I feel like I haven't been here for a while. I just had to put my 2 cents in.
Oh, no problem, no problem, supervillain. It's always good to see you, sis. I'll say this. I think that it's always good to work on, putting more value into what we think and how we feel as sisters. I will tell you, since I started doing this social media thing or whatever, it would be dudes that would come and send me DMs, send me emails, send me cash apps too, and talk about, oh, I really appreciate the things that you're saying, and try to use these words and stuff like that I don't know what they was really on. But I feel like whatever they was on, it never worked, because I don't care what none of these dudes feel or think. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you love me. I don't care if it's in between. I don't care if you find me annoying. I don't care if you find me attractive. I don't care if you find me unattractive. I don't care either way. Either way, like, about none of it. And I think that it's really a good position to be in as a woman if you generally don't care about what men think and how they feel about you. I think that once you get there, that feeling is extremely liberating. Because I remember, like, when I was young, I think I've told everybody this, well, everybody that follows me. I was raised in a religious cult, extremely, religious environment. I don't have any brothers and sisters. I was just raised with my parents who were married or whatever. And we would go to our congregation meetings 3 times a week. Well, I would say like 4 times a week. So, religion was, and then I didn't even call this religion. This cult was a very big part of my life. And, the women in my family was very centered around, like, men and what a man thinks and what a man, if he thinks you're attractive or he thinks you unattractive, that should be a big deal for you. And, I lived my early years, my teen years, and my 20s, believing that, what I'm saying? Believing that was the reason why I was single. You know what I'm saying? I got married at 25. I didn't lose my virginity till I was 25 to some bum buster loser. My first husband, who I've already said was absolutely disgusting. And all of the things that he did to me, all of the abusive acts that he did to me, putting his hands on me, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, everything under the sun. I, internalized that and felt like, oh, it's me. It's me. It's because I'm not the woman that I'm supposed to be. It's because I'm not the best woman. It's because I'm not this, that, and the third. And once I divorced him and left him, I made it a conscious goal in my mind to say, forget what men think. Forget how they feel. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. But I don't care either way it goes. You know what I'm saying? And I really do believe that once women get into that mind frame, I think it's a lot more liberating, because a lot of women's worth and goals and stuff is rooted in a man in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And like I said, and I understand that some people may say, oh, well, you married that, you don't know what you're talking about. But honestly, I really do know what I'm talking about, because like I said before, I don't like men generally. I don't. And it just so weirdly so happens that I ended up getting married, but I really didn't think I'd ever be married again, to be honest with you, because I don't like men like that. And I think, though, that in any stage of life you're in, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're in between, the best thing that you can do as a woman is to not really care how men think and feel about you. And I think that will be the best thing that you could ever do, honestly. And I also think that it also protects you from undergoing a lot of trauma, because if let's just say you're a woman, right, and you're dating, and a man play in your face that one time, and you have the strength to say, hey, you know what? I don't care how minor it is either. I don't even care if you don't like the fact that, let's say he wake up in the morning and the first thing he do is he don't brush his teeth. So you don't like that and you just break up with him. I think that the more that you focus on doing what serves you, the better off you'll be as a woman, because men have no problem doing what serves them at all. You know what I'm saying? And women are taught to be not like that. Oh, you gotta do this and that. You can't be like that. And I don't know why not. You know what I'm saying? Because men don't have no problem being like that. Hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying, because I think I'm going down a tangent. All I'm saying is that the best thing that you can do as a woman, regardless of what state in your life is to not really care what men think or feel about you or how they perceive you. And definitely don't care about like if they think you're attractive, they like you, they like your presence, nothing. Don't care at all about what men think. And the sooner you do that, the better off you'll be. And also it will make you less susceptible to grifters. You know what I'm saying? Like grifters online. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, oh shoot, Money Cash, and then I'm gonna let everybody else speak again. Money said, "Can I elaborate on number 4?" I was saying that you should look at a man's actions and not his words, because I was just seeing, like I was talking about earlier, so many videos of women recounting their stories, how they have been played with and dogged out by men, and everything that they were saying, like the whole stories that they were telling, the man's actions said from the very beginning that he didn't give two fucks about that lady. His whole behavior from the beginning showed that he didn't care about her. He didn't respect her. He didn't love her. He had no good intentions for her. He was planning on playing in her face, but he was saying something different. He was talking. He was talking a good talk. Oh, baby, I love you. Oh, baby, you so pretty. Oh, baby, you the one for me. Oh, baby, da da da. You cannot, and I've told my daughter this as well, my teen daughter, who has never even had a boyfriend yet. I told her, whenever if you do decide to date, if you don't, even though she says she doesn't think that she's going to, but I said that you can never listen to what a man say out of his mouth. You cannot, because men already know that a lot of women are swayed by words. But what you can do is watch his actions, because his actions is going to tell it all day long. All day long. It's going to tell you if he cares. It's going to tell you if he respects you. It's going to tell you everything, the way he behaves. And that's why I don't believe that you should. That's another reason why I don't believe you should listen to men that get online and talk about black women is black women. I understand you, black woman. No, you don't. You just saying stuff. You getting online and talking doesn't require you to do anything. All it requires you to do is run your lips and yap and get some cash apps. So exactly how can I see that you really are for black women when I can't see your actions? And I can't see how you really treat black women. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I just don't believe it. But anyway, let me keep going. Money, did you have something to say? I'll go to Money, then Carmel, and then Gabrielle, if y'all had something to say.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here because there is a male shopping my groceries right now, and he keep messaging me. So I literally just want to cancel my order.
Oh, girl, they always be messing up. Ugh.
Yeah, and it's so simple as he's in the chicken out and he's just bothering me. Is this good? Does this looks okay? Like, sir, just grab what I asked for, all right? Yeah, it is all of a side note. So I did want to hey T, I did want to say to well, while you were just talking, I want to say my first action was my first thought was, okay, well, if a man treated the mother of his child or children wrong, should that woman take all access away from the father? Like she went through maybe a DV relationship, or he just, he lied about the whole thing. Should she just get up and take her kids? And I don't want to throw the conversation off, or maybe that could be another live you talk about. But what you just said threw that in my head. I mean, that thought came in my head. But I definitely agree to what you're saying about pay attention to the actions. And that's what I be talking about. And I agree 1,000%. Us as women will sit up here and see that, he say be ready by 8 and 8:30 comes around. He still haven't contacted you and you're up here trying to ask your homegirl, should you give him a call? And it's like, no, I'm too militant for that. 8 o'clock's me, 8 o'clock, 8:01, I am out the door. And so since I'm very militant like that, a lot of women just don't understand that because they feel a different way, or they really want the man, or I don't know. Maybe it's something wrong with me, but I just don't play
No,
this
it's
radio.
nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. That's the way you should be. For sure.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, I just, like I said, I guess we can agree to disagree. I feel like now in today's society, men don't love
No,
women.
I said I do agree with you.
No,
I
not
said I
to
do
this.
agree.
I was talking about to Gabby had addressed me in the comments, and she was saying that she do feel that there is love out there, and I stated, well, if you stop your womanly duties, she was like, well, I don't perform womanly duties, and I'm just like, well, the majority of women do, and I just. I just feel like if we can have that if she allows it, we can definitely speak on it. But I just wanted to say that most men, even from what I see on TikTok, the way they talk is you better cook, clean, suck, and etc. Or ain't no marriage. You might get your rent paid in full if you do just that. Like they really want y'all to work hard. They want y'all to mule for their last name. And I see a lot of black women especially are okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say for me. I would never. Okay, I would never, ever in my life.
But I
Okay,
see them
I don't
on
have
TikTok
women.
saying that, and in
They're
lives I hear
crazy.
them saying that.
They need to get lumped up. But they might be lying though.
Yeah. But okay, if Gabby, you wanted to address what I stated in the comments or what you were talking about, that's totally fine.
Yes, yes, so definitely. I did want to respond to that. So, like, in the comments, you were saying, like, oh, stop doing your womanly duties. Like, I don't do womanly duties. Like, I don't cook. I don't do a bunch of stuff like catering to a man. Like, that is just not me personally. But what I was saying is that just as I don't deal with like men's misogyny and all of this cooking and cleaning and, doing this, that, and the third for them, I'm also not going to go to the other extreme end of the spectrum and say that there's no such thing as love and it's only about biology. Like, I don't want kids. Like, I don't want kids. I'm not going to have kids. Like, I'm not going down that route. I just know for me, motherhood is not for me. But even with all of that, I can still say that, yes, I do believe in the world. It is possible for certain men and certain women to have loving relationships. So, and again, that's why I was saying earlier, it comes down to discernment. So, like, yeah, if you're cooking and cleaning and doing X, Y, and Z for a guy, there are a lot of men who will be in relationships with those women for those benefits and not for the woman herself. And I think this ties into number 4, looking at a man's actions instead of his words. How does he treat you if you're not doing all of this stuff? If you're not cooking, if you're not cleaning? And so I really do think the womanly duties comments was slightly out of pocket just because I don't do that, and I don't think we've ever spoken before enough for you to say that. All I was saying in the comments was that I just don't agree with you on the whole thing about love. I think
the majority.
And I think that if you don't want a relationship, that's totally fine. That is 100% you're right. But I'm just saying, for me, and I've been single for like 4 years, okay, and I've had guys come up to me and I can just look at them a lot of times and just say, nope, not it. But at the same time, if I do, whether it's like a month or a year or 5 years from now, if I do meet a guy and feel like, okay, there's like a genuine connection, there could be something here, I'm not gonna dismiss that because 80 or 75% of guys are a-holes. And that's all I was saying in the comments.
I think it's 99%. And I was saying the majority. And when I said biology, I was looking at the biology of men, the actions of overall men. Okay, you feel like you still have hope and thinking that you're going to find a unicorn, that's fine. I feel like the safest route, if women are going to deal with men, is how T. Scorpio said, in today's society, if it's not about the bag, it's absolutely no.
I don't need to. I'll go on.
If it's not about how T. Scorpio says, listen, I need a cheating clause, I need all this, because I feel like then we're really understanding the reality of men in their background for generations after generations of how they treat women. We can have discernment, but the only real thing you can fall back on is guaranteed money, etc. I feel like that would be quote unquote love, if we want to put that as a title for now, for in this generation. Like T say, have the cheating clause, have this, have the house, have the deed, sign up. But to genuinely go in and say, oh, I'm so in love, this man cares about me and all this other stuff, I don't feel like men think that way. And I also hear a lot of men from all around on my lives, they state that marriage is a scam. They came out of their mouths, and there's women in the chat that can tell you on my lives that they always come in from all different backgrounds stating that marriage is a scam. We only want to do this and we're not right. So I'm not saying that don't those men speak for the majority, but if different men from these backgrounds are like, listen, I'm just gonna cut the crap. We only want y'all to come in and do this. This is how men feel, et cetera, et cetera. So for me to come in as a woman and say, no, I don't think that. I'm not gonna listen to what he's saying. I'm still gonna have hope that someone genuinely is gonna love me how I want to be loved. I feel like that's I'm not calling you delusional, but it feels like having that mindset would kind of be delusional when the men are telling us what they want.
I feel like you're not understanding what I'm saying. I would. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this real quick. I get what Gabrielle's saying, and I also get what Money's saying. There are a lot of men that say those things that Money's saying. You know what I'm saying? However, I do understand what Gabrielle's saying, that not every man is saying those things, but I do think that that's why it's important, like when dating, to ask men what they expect, out of you, what they think marriage is, what they think a partnership is, or if they even think marriage is a partnership, what they think is so-called woman duties or what are man duties. Because I know, me personally, this is just me, but as I said, I haven't told all my business on here, but I had, like, after I got divorced from my first husband, I was really out there, not out there having sex with people, but out there dating a whole bunch of different dudes all the time. I promise you, I didn't see so many dudes on one date and one date only and left them. I can't even tell you how many, because of asking qualifying questions that let me be like, no, you're crazy. I will say that when you ask a man and he says, oh, the first thing he asks you when you on a date, hey, can you cook? Can you clean? It's like, Negro, can you cook? Can you clean? Because I don't know why you think that because I got a vagina that I'm supposed to be doing all the cooking and all the cleaning. Now, me personally, I do some cooking because I went to culinary school and I love to cook and I can cook fantastically. But also my husband can cook real good. And he cooks sometimes when I don't want to. He do the cooking. There's times where he do all the cooking for long periods of time. So, but I will say, men telling you, what's women duties, how you gonna do this, do that, and the third, or if they feel like you supposed to submit to them, or they supposed to be your leader and the boss of you. For me personally, I never had that conversation with my husband ever. He never said none of that bullshit to me, and if he did, he would never see me again. I would be gone. I'd be single right now. But I will say that when I went on dates, a lot of the men, the majority of the men, did say things like that to me. They did say things like that to me. They said cooking, cleaning, all that bush. And you know what? After that first date, they never see me. They never see me again. I remember I was talking to this one dude, very attractive man, 6'8", played overseas basketball. And he was everything that I would think came from a good family, had a nice little amount of money, everything on point. I was like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? This might be the one right here. This might be Mr. Trigger. However, after we were talking for a little minute. We had a conversation and he was telling me that he said that he feels like how you go into a marriage, because he told me he was marriage minded. He said how you go into a marriage is how you're supposed to be there. So if you gain weight, if you get into an accident, if something happens to you and you don't look the same that you did when you first got that you're supposed to leave. He was like, yeah, me personally, I wouldn't stay with a woman. So he was like, he was like, he told me, I think you're very beautiful now. But if you were to change how you looked, like after we got married, no matter how long we've been together, I would have to divorce you. Do you know that I never talked to that man ever again? And we had been seeing each other tough for a long time. I think it was at least like 2-3 months. And we hadn't had sex yet, but we had kissed and stuff like that. I never talked to that man again because I was like, you are crazy. And I didn't even tell him. I think that one of the keys is to listen to the things that men say. And unfortunately, what Money is saying, there is a majority of men that are like that. But I do believe that there are some men that are not like that. But that's why I say I understand both of y'all positions, because I do believe that those men are in short supply. Now, people ask me, now Money just said 99%. When people have asked me what I believe the percentage of men that are decent versus good, I've said 70-30 or 75-25. And then sometimes, depending on how I feel, I may even say 80-20. But I do believe that the good men are in short supply. So I do think that it's going to be, difficult to find a man that isn't on some weirdo, you know what I'm saying, like gender role type of thing. or feels like because you got a vagina, you supposed to be his maid and servant. Also, I believe that, you know, a lot of men probably plan on cheating on you and doing you dirty and bogus. So you got to find a man with good character. I do believe that it is going to be difficult to find that person, which is why I said that if something ever happened to my husband, God forbid, nothing's going to happen to him. But if it did, I would never get married again, because I don't believe that I would hit the lottery twice. But I understand both of what y'all saying. I really do. I understand both perspectives, and both perspectives has merit. But I'm gonna go over here to Gabrielle because I think Gabrielle wants to respond. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what you were saying and follow up. So, like what you were saying about like the type of guys who are cheating, or the type of guys who are like wanting women to do all of these chores, whatever. Those men are like off the table for me, period. Like you were saying, triggered out the guy who was 6'8", but then he's like, oh, if you changed or whatever after we were married, I would divorce, whatever. Any men of that caliber, I wouldn't deal with, period. And so any of the stuff that they have going on that has something to do with me, because I'm not entertaining them, period. All I was saying for me is that, again, if I do meet a guy who's not on that, and I do agree with what you were saying, triggered out being a minority, but even with the minority is still out there. For me, if I do meet that guy, you know, I'm not gonna not go for that if I feel that there's something there, just because 75 or 80% of guys are a-holes. I did want to respond to what Money was saying about, oh, just get with a guy for money, because I've definitely heard that argument. I can make my own money. I can make my own money. I can travel. I'm literally in Finland right now. I don't need to get with a guy just to have access to money or resources. Like, I do think a guy should definitely have his own stuff going. He shouldn't be a bum. Like, he needs to be on top of his stuff financially, but I'm not going to enter into a relationship just to have a guy's money and look the other way while he's doing this, that, and the third. That doesn't make sense to me. I think we're living in an age where women can, you know, not have to do a lot of the stuff that our grandmothers had to do, like being with a guy just for money while he's doing all of this stuff. So yeah, you could say like, I'm not going to be compatible with the majority of guys, but I think that there's a difference between acknowledging that the majority of guys are terrible and saying I'm not going to deal with them, versus saying there's no such thing as love and all you need to do is just get with a guy for his money. To me, I just personally think that's ridiculous, but to each her own. And if you don't want to be in a relationship, don't be in one. Like, nobody's forcing anyone to be in one.
Yeah, I mean, and I also understand that perspective too, Gabrielle. I really do. I understand that too. And I think I agree with that perspective. Me personally, I think I've said this plenty of times. I'm not marrying nobody but just for money. Like, I'm not. Now, let me tell you something. I wouldn't marry nobody that was broke at all, but I definitely not marrying nobody I don't like, or I'm not attracted to, or I don't love, just because they got a bag. Like, me personally, I'm not going to do that, because it's a lot involved in marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you get sick? You need me to take care of you. And beyond that, even if you don't get sick, like, you need me to go get in that bed and perform. And I'm not performing for nobody that I don't think is sexy and attractive and that I like you. Like, I'm just not gonna be doing all. I ain't gonna be doing all of it. All right, not to tell my business, but I'm no prude, and I'm not about to be doing all that. And I don't like you. Like, it's no. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to be going in the bathroom and see you in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Our showers, you know, you got the clear doors, and seeing something I don't want to see up in there. Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't care how many trips you take me on, or how much bread I can spend. Like, nah. I could just go ahead and pay for myself, and then I could just go ahead and look at myself in the mirror and love and what I see. You know what I'm saying? But beyond that, I do understand what you're saying, Gabrielle. I really do. I understand everything that y'all saying. I really do. I get what y'all saying, for real. But let me go down here to T. She had something to say, and then I'll go up here to Simply. And then Money too, if she wants to respond. Go ahead, T.
Yeah. I just wanted to clear up some things so it won't be like, a misconception of like what I be talking about on my platform. What I specifically talk about with women with the clauses that my girl pointed out that I be doing was basically because I don't look at marriage like, my perspective of marriage is a business. When it comes to the love aspect, I already have love. I'm not love starved. So probably that's why my point of view is different from a lot of women, is because I'm not love starved. I've been loved by men. Is really like, okay, got it. Check that off. I can move on with my life. And with that being said, I know how men love, and how men love is by giving you everything that they have, honestly speaking. Even if you have your own, I never preach women being financially dependent on a man, because that will make you stuck, and that will make you stupid and in a bad situation, of course. And because I'm coming from the aspect of saying it's a business, meaning that if we're going to merge with each other, I have to benefit more monetarily than you will benefit from me. That's why I say, like, draw up the clauses. You get a debt clause, you get a property clause, you get a business clause, you get an infidelity clause in case, because men are funny, men change, and then you already got something in place. Think of it as an insurance policy. You know, even if you are marrying for love, still get those clauses, educate yourself on prenups. So when you do go down that route to get married, you could protect yourself. I'm not against women necessarily marrying for love. That's you. But I'm for women protecting themselves. That's what my main concern is. You know what I'm saying? So, and absolutely, like what, like my girl Money saying, for me it's not I married him for his money because it made sense to merge with a man that is that is very successful, so this way I can benefit from it. This way my child would benefit from the union, and that's basically what it is about. And it's also about teaching discernment, because when a man is signing these clauses, that's him taking legal accountability for you. Because that also shows his character, that he's healthy minded, that he understands that you do not want to be caught up. You don't want to be hurt. You are protecting yourself. Any man that loves you will understand you protecting yourself, because they understand, because the healthy mind, because I always stress the word good men. Okay, that's nice. Good to say good man. Okay, I get it, but I usually like to say healthy minded men. Healthy minded men understand women want protection. Women want provision. Women want to be safe and have comfortability. And that's mainly what I teach on what I teach on my platform, is how a healthy minded man will understand that you coming in with him and you want to be with him as your husband. He will not fault you for that, which really means that he is a good man. He has a good character. You see what I'm saying? How it all makes sense, how it all
Hey
is
T,
basically about discernment, basically like that.
hey T, I never asked you. Did you say that you love your husband, or did you say that it was a business arrangement? I never think I ever asked you that before.
When I married him, I was not in love with him.
Okay, but you love him now.
It's getting there. I mean, I would say honestly, it's slowly getting there. It's slowly getting there.
Okay.
It's getting there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I ever asked you that because you was talking, but I mean, I don't see no problem with what you're saying either. I
Yeah,
really understand
he was
everybody's
aware of
perspective.
it
I
too.
understand yours too.
And he was
Yeah,
aware of
I
that
understand what
too.
you're saying.
Yeah. No, I was saying, because this is a man of logic, he's a logical man. He understands that he cannot force me to love him, but he is still willing to provide me the necessary safe space that I need to be comfortable enough to be quote unquote romantically in love. But the reason why we mainly got together is because we were right for each other, not romantic love. Is because he was a right man to marry. You see? So, and he felt like I was the right woman to marry, even though he married for romantic reasons. He was in love with me. And he also said that I'm a right woman for him, because not only that he sees the way I operate. I'm a woman of logic. So that means I'm smart. And it's beneficial for a man like him to have a smart woman on his corner that's logical, and also give him that affirmation that he needs to feel like a man. You know, that's on to another type of conversation, so, but any cahoots, a smart man would not choose you not just because of how you look, but because you are a businesswoman. You a businesswoman, you make good choices. And in order for you to pick a good man, you have to pick the right man, and you have to be the right woman, to not the right woman like he's picking someone bad. But if you want to receive that, you want to be able to have that discernment and to choose that type of man, then that means you have to put your emotions to the side and choose him based off your logic, not based off your emotions. That's another main thing I teach women. I'm gonna land with this, saying that women are best when you are picking a man, especially today. it's best that you go in with your logic and put your emotions to the side to make sure if you are going to date, you choose the right man. Because like I said, there's nothing wrong with being single. I could be single for the rest of my life. But because he wanted companionship with me, that was the business. I put business deals on the table because I can live being single. He wanted me in his life. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to just end with that.
All right, T. Okay. I think that T brought up some good points where she mentioned making sure that you as a woman protect yourself and that you like get prenups and things like that. Even the anti-cheating clauses or cheating clauses and things like that. I think all of those things are very, very good things to have as a protection as a woman. And just like she was saying, especially with the way things are right now. Cause the way things were, you know, when I got married back in the day, bruh, is not that it wasn't bad and janky back then, but it's a million times jankier now. So I definitely think that that's a good thing to do. It's never problematic to protect yourself, and it's never problematic to tell black women to protect themselves. So I don't see nothing wrong with that. Let me go up here to Simply and then Money. Oh yeah, Simply, then Money, then Gabrielle. Go ahead, Simply.
Hey, I have a noisy background. I don't know if y'all be able to hear me. I don't know if maybe I should wait until the noise died down. Is it too noisy?
I can hear you for now. It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at work. I do pediatric home health, so I'm giving my patient a treatment. Anyway, yeah, I've been up here for a little while, just been listening. I definitely had a mouthful full to say. Way back when y'all were talking about the pick me stuff, I definitely feel like there's a and the pandering and the reason why the women keep falling for it. And I definitely just wanted to address that and hopefully I can get to the current conversation that you guys are having right now because I definitely had a mouthful to say about all the just everything, all the talking points. But as far as the pick me thing and the pandering and why women just keep for some reason just seeking this validation um, outside of themselves, you know, and just wanting it from the men. I know Super Bitter was on here for a brief second, and she was talking about how, like, you know, just validating other women. For some reason, it just doesn't seem to be working, and I definitely feel like it's because there's just a lot of things that has to be unpacked. I feel like, um, for one, I know women, we don't have like a community forum when we can pass on knowledge to the younger gen, like the older women, the wiser women, the more experienced women. For some reason, we, you know, us trying to mentor the younger women, they're not accepting of it. You know what I'm saying? The younger women, they're not accepting of it. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at it like, oh, you know, you old bitter broad or auntie, you know, you just don't, you know, want me to be happy or whatever the case may be. Even when, you know, you guys were talking about like, because I see it a lot too, on the live sometimes, it's like, you're looked at sideways if you are a woman in a relationship, whether if you know, you're in a relationship or you're married, it's like, dang, well, why are you having these talking points? You know what I'm saying? If you're happily married, why are you, you know, having these type of discussions? And I definitely feel like that within itself is very telling. Why can't you have a happy, why can't you be in a happy relationship but still shed light on these issues? Another issue that I'm finding is that as far as with the women being male-centered, I feel like a lot of women too, they're constantly looking for love outside of themselves. Me personally, I feel like you have to become love. And once you become love, you're not going to be seeking any outside validation, whether if that's from a man, whether if that's from a woman, whether if that's from your mom, whether if that's, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like um, I don't have all the answers or definition on love, but I do feel like the older that I get, it's starting to make a little bit more sense to me. You definitely have to have the utmost love and respect for yourself. You have to become it. Um, in order to to be okay. Where I feel like a lot of women have not accepted the fact that, hey, I may not um I may not get this relationship that I desire. You know what I'm saying? Like, be okay with being alone. I feel like the idea, and I'm not judging anyone. I definitely understand everybody has the right. We're all grown. We have the right to have live by our own philosophies in life. Me personally, I do feel like it is a bit childish to have this idea that there is someone out there as far as like a soulmate. I feel like just like kind of like what T Scorpio was talking about. Her person was, the right person for you is going to be the person who aligns with your belief systems and morality or whatever the case may be. If you're the type of woman who dates for money or financial security, and like she was saying, just strictly off of logic and not emotional, the right person for her is going to be the man who is okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And if he aligns with that, and you guys become one. I don't feel like there's just some unicorn out there, or there's just only one person out there for me. You know, I kind of feel like that's kind of, I don't know, a bit childish to still, to think that way. But yeah, I know my time is running out. I definitely had a lot more things to say. There's a lot more things I want to touch on, but I see my time is running out. So,
Okay, all right, sis. All right, well, I'll come back to you, and we'll make sure
okay.
you get it all.
Okay.
All right, so let me go up here to Money, and then Gabrielle. Go ahead, Money, if you there, sis.
Hey, yeah. So, to piggyback off our other conversation about the love, I think that's where I think that's where me and a lot of women disagree at in today's society, because I'm just like, I've seen it. I done heard it all. I don't want to have the discernment to date him. I don't want to have to look their name up. I don't want to have to worry about what he's showing me. I just don't have the time. I'm all for just the money. I feel like that is the only benefit that men can bring to me, because I don't want love. And I don't want a relationship with them unless I am benefiting 1000% with just financial gain. Because I feel like a lot of times we spend so much and put in so much time, energy, and effort to make these relationships work, and then 1 second you maybe put broccoli on his plate and you forgot he don't like broccoli, and now he's with the young college girl down the street. And so it's just too much of a risk for me. I feel like it's all men, and I am okay with women who think that it's not. But I think I then need women to give me grace on how I feel about the situations, because I'm giving women grace who do want the love. If that makes sense. Also, I just don't, the way the statistics are lined up with, even if I wanted to be married, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, they say married women have the highest STD rates. Married women are, and for those who are in happily marriages, I totally understand. So what I'm saying won't affect you because you're not part of that crew. But to the majority, statistics are showing married women have the highest STD rates. I don't know if it's because their men are cheating or they are cheating, but that's what they are saying. The data is showing. They're also saying that married women with children are more stressed out. They're saying single women are not stressed out. Single women are not having these high STD rates. Well, a lot of them are dealing with, if they are dating or in relationships, they might, because there's a lot of men that are in the closet and still playing both fields or both sides. But I just see overall, when I look at everything all together, with, like you were saying earlier, Trigger, the government and how men are, dealing with the world and how they're taking away free food. I just wouldn't even want to give a male access to me, because if he can do that, that's their mindset. We have someone who's governing this, the U.S., and look at the things that he's doing. We don't even have access to our own wombs, and men are just taking away everything. And mind you, we are giving birth to these very same men. So it's like, it comes to question, like, are women being delusional and still saying, okay, I have my unicorn, now what are the rest of the women supposed to do? And so then I also say, okay, well, dang, we got the president doing this and taking away free lunch from kids, and we got men that are just walking out, especially in the Black community, they're just creating fatherless homes and just walking out on these mothers. And you got men, you get a stepdad in the house, and he putting his hands on everybody, and he's impregnating the teenager in the home. It's just too much of a risk. And so whether you want to have kids or not, it's still a risk. So my thing is this: why even put myself in that if I already know there are so many things lined up against me just to have this male in the home, or just to have this male just to be in a relationship? Why take that risk? And I land there. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Okay, all right, money. I'll say this. Well, the first thing I wanted to address is what you said about married women having the highest STD rates. That's actually not true. I just put up an article that I just pulled up while you were speaking, but it's still single people have the highest STD rates. It's not married people. But not to say that there aren't women that have been infected by their partners and things like that have been cheated on them. I'm sure that that's definitely happened. I've seen a lot of stories here on TikTok of that. But I'll say number two, the point of what you said about men and stuff like that. I'm not here to say that your perspective of men is incorrect, because I do believe the majority of men are not where they need to be. I don't think that I don't even believe that the majority of men are suitable for marriage. And I think a lot of times us as Americans, I think I can speak that everybody in here is living in America. I had read an article today that in Afghanistan, they had already told those women that they were not able to speak out loud in public or sing, that they had to be inside the house when they spoke and to make sure that nobody from the outside could hear them talking, and just a whole bunch of oppressive things that they put on the women there. Now they said that the women only need one eye to see, and they have to cover up one eye within their, that thing that they're wearing with just the eyes out, that they want them to cover up one. And they're not even, the government isn't providing it. They want them to make it and put it over their eyes because there's not enough for whatever they're doing. So, which is insane. You want women to walk outside with one eye covered for what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So in other countries, women are even more, face even more horrific oppression, right? So by men are the cause of all these things. So I understand that. The only thing that I never understood when people say that men are so bad and they're so terrible, which I'm not here to disagree about that, because I do believe the majority of men are no good. But if you believe that, and you believe that being with a man is a risk, I don't believe entertaining a man for just financial purposes is smart either. So you mean to tell me that you're going to take on all of this risk just to get some money? I feel like that right there is lazy. I feel like then just go ahead and avoid all of the risk and provide for yourself. Get your own bag, take your own self, do all of the things that you need to do for yourself as a woman financially, and X out men completely if they're a risk. You saying, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and entertain this risk because he can give me some cash. That's stupid. Because what if he does exactly what you think? You ain't going to spend nothing in the grave. You ain't going to spend nothing if he's emotionally damaged you and scarred you and abused you in a million different ways. So, like I said, I understand the whole idea of men being a certain type of way. But if you're not willing to take the risk for love, you shouldn't take the risk for money either. Because that's even stupider, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not here to tell
Clarify the money part.
Yeah. You said what now?
Can I clarify the money part?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
When I say deal with them, he needs to be on an oxygen tank in hospice somewhere. We're not talking about the average. No, ma'am. But I totally agree where you're coming from. If you're going to take that risk, he cannot be able to walk. he needs to be in your will. I think women should deal with them 80 and up, especially if you're young and vibrant. If an oxygen tank isn't on his hip, no ma'am. If he's not on hospice, I'm sorry, no ma'am. If he don't have about 72 hours left to live, don't play with him or deal with him for money. So that's the only thing I always tell him. Go for the oldest you can. Let him, build his ego up, get you a few checks and dip. Tell him you signed up for the army or something. So that's usually what I say. But I agree 100%. Like I do now, I'm in my own home. I pay 100% of my bills, and I only give those access if they are almost in the ground and they're willing to put me in the will. But yes, you're 1,000%. If you're gonna deal with them and they're able to walk and talk, and you playing with him, and he's the average worker, and listen, you done played him out of $20-$40, yeah, you're gonna end up unalive because they worked hard for that money and they don't have extra funds. So you're absolutely correct about that part. Yes, about the whole thing.
Already know. Y'all already said. I already know.
Yeah.
Before I got married to my husband, my dream husband is 101-year-old billionaire.
That's
one foot in
right.
the grave, right there, and then I take all his money. Yup, absolutely. I've always
He's
said
not
60
taking
to
it's a no for
coffin.
me.
60 to coffin. That's the age. Let me stop.
Parkinson's disease. He needs to be shaken. He needs to
Y'all
be
doing
wheelchair
too
bound.
much. Y'all doing
Everything.
too much.
Biden is the best husband. That man did not know for 4 years he was president of the United States. That was the husband for me. That was the best husband.
Oh my God.
He didn't know nothing about nothing.
Did y'all see what Shira said about the man who he couldn't even talk or anything and he still was cheating on his wife?
See?
In that wheelchair, he had to type to talk on his computer. And he still was messing with his home health aide. So yeah, you can't get by on these men. They gonna do you in. So this is why I say, listen, he needs to be on hospice. That's the only way. But other than that, she's right. Go get your own money. You can't say you're taking a risk and you're dealing with the average man even for that. No. Get your own money, pay your own bills, and just do you. If you're really gonna descend to them. But I don't want to come up here and lie and say I won't deal with someone for money who's that old or whatever, because that's not truthful. But as far as if he's young and he's vibrant and he got his hips and everything, no, I'm good. No, thank
Girl, stop it. You said if he got his hips. Oh my God.
you. I need his hip replacement husbands. That's what I need. Yeah, other than that, no man. She's right. No. Why even risk for the money? Nope.
He need to be decrepited. He need a decrepit
Exactly.
husband.
Exactly. But I feel like a lot of women still think about, the Disney fairy tale marriage and everything like that. We're not in that society. And if you do, I mean, you have really got to be lucked up. I mean, you have been burning candles and praying to God to get a man like that.
I mean, look here. I will tell you, I definitely prayed. I definitely prayed. Let me go down here to Gabrielle. Gabrielle, you had something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond. I just want to say I definitely do agree with, I think, everyone in the chat about the fact that most men are not any good. For me, I just think at the end of the day, it does come down to the type of men that you entertain. Like I said earlier, men who want you to do cooking and cleaning, men who want you to have their kids, like all of those men for me are like off the board, which is probably like 80 or 85%. And I'm fine with that. And like I said, I get that. I understand because of things like femicide and, the manosphere misogyny. I understand women who say, oh, I'm just not going to take the risk, period. For me, I'm not there. Like I said, if I do, feel like I meet someone and, connect with him, I will be open to seeing where it goes. I personally don't agree with this idea of, oh, just deal with a guy for money because, like, I can make my own money. I can travel. I can do all of those things I want to do. I don't need to look at a guy.
Work out, what are you leaving with, Gabby? If it doesn't work out, if you put in all your time, let's say y'all been together 5 years, what are you leaving with? Just yourself?
I had a question
because
too,
you still
if you
have
don't
to
mind
be valued
asking
there.
me.
What are you leaving with?
What are you asking me? You said of like 5 years. What am I leaving with? Is that the question?
Yeah, like are you at the mindset of, listen, I'm going in just for love. That's all I want. And when I leave, if it doesn't work, I'm just leaving. You don't feel like your time was wasted, or you're not old
anymore? You answer the question. Okay, so I'm going to answer your question. So I mean, yeah, the guy has to have something going for himself. He can't be like a bum off the street with like, I don't know, working at a gas station. I'm saying if this is a man who is upstanding, who has his stuff together, and on top of that, there is an emotional connection, then yeah, I'm going to be open to that. Why would I pass that up? Why would I not go for something like that just because of the sexists in the world? I'm not going to let sexist, misogynistic men control me. So yeah, and then obviously if I'm with a guy for 5 years, the relationship doesn't work out, I'm gonna dip and continue living life and continue traveling, continue doing all the things I was doing before I met that guy.
So
What
free
I'm
labor.
saying is that I'm sorry.
Free labor. Free
I'm
Just a second,
sorry.
money. Let Gabrielle finish. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't. No, I just want to hear. I didn't hear a question because I do want to answer the question. What
Oh,
was the
okay,
question?
okay. I think money was just asking you. She said like if you get with a man for love and then it like ends after 5 years, then what are you left with?
Well, I'm left with me. I have my career, which I've been doing for almost 10 years at this point. I mean, I have myself, my skills, my talents, my ability to live my life the way I've been living it before the guy. So I don't know if I'm not understanding the question, but like, what do you mean? What do I have? I have all the things I had before the guy. So like,
Yeah, I think that's what money was saying, but let me see if that's what she was saying because I
yeah.
Hey, thank you. Yeah. So just to clear it up, I was saying, so after all your time, you're saying it's from an emotional standpoint. And please, I am coming from a point of understanding. I want to understand your mindset. I'm not here to like, go against the grain or go against how you feel. This is how you feel. I just want your mindset only. And please, I'm not trying to be rude or try you or
No,
anything or
it's
be
totally
disrespectful
fine.
to you. Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
So my thing is this, because maybe I feel like this, if you've been with, let's say you had the good man, he wasn't a bum, he's not the gas station worker and everything, it doesn't work out. It just does not work out. It don't even have to be bad. When you leave that 5-year relationship, you have at least maybe did some kind of labor for him. And that's 5 years of your life you cannot get back. So do you feel I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be doing labor. Like I am not. I don't cook. Like I literally do not cook. Like I order out. I go out to eat. I'll like Uber Eats. Like I'll get a pizza and put it in the oven.
So
But
for 5 years, you wouldn't cook for this man. For 5 years, you
I
wouldn't
don't.
lay down
Okay,
with him.
you guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna interject in here real quick. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this as a married woman because I feel like it's something that I should say. And I can't speak for nobody else's situation, you know what I'm saying? But I think I can speak on a healthy marriage. Like I said, I've been married for 15 years. It'll be 16 years this year. Regardless of what anybody want to say, I haven't been cheated on. I haven't been beat on. I haven't been disrespected. My husband has done nothing but take care of me, work hard. When I say hard, I mean hard, paying all the bills and let me do whatever it is that I want to do all of this time. He's been nothing but amazing since the day that I met him, which I realized that he was different from literally a couple hours after talking to him, meeting him in person. Marriage, a healthy marriage is not about what somebody does for you or what you do for them, about what you labor for them or what they labor for you or what you can get out of it. If it's a happy, healthy relationship, he gonna labor for you, you gonna labor for him. He gonna do things for you, you gonna do things for him. He gonna uplift you when you down, when he down, you gonna uplift him. Y'all gonna do everything 50-50 down the middle, y'all partners. If you doing some cooking, when you feel cool to cook, you gonna cook. When he feel good to cook, he gonna cook. When you don't feel like cleaning the bathroom or cleaning the house, he gonna do it. When you feel up to do it, you gonna do it. Everything's gonna be down the middle and y'all are gonna support and uplift each other. Where he fails, you gonna pick up the slack. Where you fail, he gonna pick up the slack. And that's what y'all are gonna do together in a happy, healthy relationship and marriage. So honestly, to hear like a lot of this thing about, well, how you gonna be laboring for him? You gonna be marrying for him? You gonna be doing this, that, and third? You only do that if y'all are not supposed to be together. If you really chose right and he chose right, then everything's gonna go right and he's gonna not make you feel used. You're not going to feel like he's taking from you. You're not going to feel like he's treating you bad. You're not going to feel like you're losing out. You're not going to feel like any of those things. You're going to feel great. You're going to be fulfilled. When y'all have sex, not trying to be funny, when y'all have sex and he puts his thing inside of you, you're going to feel joy. You're going to be busting nuts. You're going to feel, y'all both are going to be connected in a way that you've never felt connected to nobody in your life. And I think that so many times that there's so many negative representations of marriage and partnership and a spiritual connection, that it's a lot of women that have never experienced that in their life, that they've only been taken from by men. They've only been abused by men. So they can't fathom that there are women out there being loved properly. And I say this at the whole thing of telling y'all that my first husband was completely horrific to me. Like I said, I was raised completely sheltered, completely alienated for society, was never kissed anybody, never had sex, anything until the day that I got married. And after that, I was treated horribly in every way that you can imagine. And so I understand what it is to have nothing, and also what it is to have something, and also what it is to have in between. Because when I talk to guys in between, they wasn't bad dudes. They just wasn't dudes for me. So I feel like I am the perfect person to speak on this. But I think a lot of times that there are so many women that have not experienced what it is truly to have a joyful union, speaking on it like they know. So it's like, if you don't know, if you never had a man love you completely and truly and treat you right and be faithful to you and come home every day to you, then you wouldn't know. But I don't think there's anything wrong, respectfully, with a woman looking for it. Like, because if you find it, if you find that needle in a haystack, or if you find that unicorn, it's worth the search. Now, are some women tired and don't want to look for it? Then I understand that as well. I understand saying, hey, you know what? It may be out there, but I don't got the time, the emotional energy or effort to look for it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that as well. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with Gabrielle saying that she's looking for it. Because I think at the end of the day, the only thing she's trying to say is that she hopes that she can find that. And if she can't, she can't. But if she can, she can. And the reason why she was confused, I feel like, about what to get out of it, because what is there to get out of it? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes relationships don't work out. But like I said, I feel like a lot of women that are in healthy relationships are afraid, because some of them have DM'd me, are afraid to say, because they don't want women to instantly say, oh, that ain't true. That ain't true. You ain't happy. You ain't happy. Your man cheating on you. How you know he ain't cheating on you? You with him all day? You got his location, but how you know? How you know he didn't go in that McDonald's that he was in and have sex with somebody in the bathroom stall? You know what I'm saying? When you married to somebody, you know them. And you ask people that's been cheated on, they knew that man cheated on them. They had a feeling from probably the beginning before they even said I do. I've literally talked to thousands of Black women about these different scenarios. So like I said, I just feel like at some point we got to understand that, like I said, what I said earlier is everybody's experience is not everybody's experience. Some people have good, some people have bad, some people have in between. Of course, I do believe that there are more negative experiences than positive with men. Yes, absolutely. Especially, yes, I believe it, which is why I made the thing to talk about Afghanistan and how the women are treated horribly there, because this isn't just here where men don't respect women and treat them terribly. It's everywhere. But like I said before, there are women being loved. There are women being partnered up. Now, I don't know if people want to call it, I know Simply said earlier that believing in soulmates is childish. So I don't know if you want to call it a soulmate or a spiritual connection that God has directed you to, or whatever you want to call it. But there are people that have those experiences in life. And I feel like to never speak on it and to make it seem as if that's an impossibility is, I don't want to say it's disrespectful, but because everybody has their own thought processes. But I'm just here to say, as what I can say for myself, and I understand that my experience is anecdotal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here to say that it exists. And I know other Black women who it exists for as well. Now, I ain't in their house every day, but from what I see, it seems like it's happening for them too. So, Money Cash.
Trevor, do you mind if I
Oh my
say
God,
something
Money
really
Cash
quick?
said it's 3 of y'all. I cannot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Trevor,
it's
do
only
you
like
mind if
3 of
I
y'all with good marriages. Everybody else asked out. Only 3 of y'all have good marriages.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all lucked up.
I'm done. You are so
Trevor, do
serious.
Do you mind if I say something real quick?
Go ahead, simply.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to say, like I said, I definitely did not, hopefully I didn't offend anyone with, with, I just was stating my own opinion as far as like the childish
Oh
thing.
no, no, sis, no,
Um,
sis, not at all. You right. You have a right to your own opinion.
yeah,
I
but
didn't have any. I didn't feel.
I definitely want to say I do respect your everything that you just said, coming from a married woman. I definitely respect everything that you were saying, and I pretty much align and agree and resonate with everything that you've been, all your talking points. I definitely, as far as like to Gabby, I definitely do agree that it's nothing wrong with having that desire and just holding out for that opportunity to hopefully meet, the one for you, and the partner that crosses all of crosses, pretty much crosses your boxes and whatnot, because it's nothing wrong with having that desire. I just feel like as women, as a collective of the women who still have that desire to hopefully meet their partner, I do believe that there are great relationships out there. There are men who are treating their women the way that they need to be treated. I, for one, and with my significant other, he's been treating me really well. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing to say about him. I mean, that man been showing up. Every time I tell him what I need, he shows up for me. So I know that there are great men out there who are capable of being in communion with with women. But like I said, I do feel like it just kind of becomes problematic for women when we are we're holding ourselves out, and it's to the point where it's like I feel like we have to reach our higher level of self. I'm sure that most of the women on the panel are familiar with the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and I do feel like I mean, just as individuals, period, both men and women, I feel like we have to.
Simply.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to respond to this dude in the comments, Reese Will, that said in between dudes. What I meant is that before I got married for the second time, I dated men, and some of those men were not terrible, but they were not the men for me. So please don't come in here with your bucket head trying to say something that you don't understand. Okay? You look like you in between dudes. Where's your boyfriend at? Okay? Shut your goofy butt up. I'm about to block you. Go ahead, simply.
I love when you chew them up, girl. But no, I just was pretty much just saying that I just feel like as a both men and women, we just have to I feel like the priority should first being okay with being by yourself first, because I feel like if you're okay with being by yourself first, you've reached yourself, self actualization. That doesn't just come with career, with having a career, or having your own money and things like that. I mean, it really is like internally, you have to be okay with being alone, and being comfortable and okay with the idea that that person may not come around. Because I feel like if you're okay with being by yourself and you reach the level of self actualization, even when you are dating, like navigating the dating pool, it's going to be so much more easier for you to use discernment. It's going to be so much more easier for you to cut off a person. Like, even if you first meet a guy and you have a list of questions, I mean, a man can answer all the questions right. Everything could be going right in the relationship. He can, be serving you, doing all those things. But I still feel like it's very important for us to be, no matter if you've been with somebody for a year, 10 years, or whatever, still being okay with, um, you know, just not putting your guard down all the way. I just feel like, and just like for what I think it was T Scorpio when she was talking about protection, I definitely feel like as women, we should always prioritize. I mean, that just all comes with loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? Prioritizing yourself. I feel like if you prioritize yourself and love yourself, respect yourself, the man that's going to be for you is automatically going to do those things. He's going to know not to play with you because you don't play about yourself. That's all I really just wanted to say. I feel like it's nothing wrong with holding out for a man, or for that good man, or unicorn man, soulmate, whatever you want to call it. I just feel like it's problematic when, it can become problematic when the woman, if you're not okay with being alone and just being with being okay with the idea that this person may not come, you know what I'm saying, or I may not have that. What you gonna do? Are you gonna feel mad, depressed, and is that gonna upset you? Because it shouldn't. And I just feel like that's the questions we need to ask ourselves. Um, yeah, but I'll go ahead and
Okay.
land.
All right. I got you. Simply. All right, let me go over here to Gabrielle. You have something to say, Gabrielle?
Yeah, I want to say I definitely agree with what Simply Karma was saying. I do think you have to like work on yourself and be okay with being by yourself and just doing the internal work on yourself to grow and self actualize and learn more about who you are. And I think that when you do that consistently, the caliber of men that you entertain, it's naturally going to set a high bar, which will naturally eliminate a lot of guys, which is honestly a good thing considering the state of the world and like all the stuff we've talked about on this slide. But I mean, I 100% think that you working on yourself and you being comfortable and okay with yourself is the most important thing, and not needing to feel like you have to be with a man. I think that is where a lot of women go wrong. I think the feeling like you need to be with a man, I think that a lot of the time is when women lower standards, or see a red flag but then look the other way, or go into a relationship thinking I can change him. But I think that if you as a woman are genuinely comfortable with yourself, genuinely think highly of yourself, and have the self-esteem and carry yourself accordingly, I do think just like the energy that you give off and like the people that you organically connect with, all of that's going to be of a higher caliber. And I think that that does extend to men. But then again, to go to the point I was making earlier about dating, I do think you can do all of the stuff that Simply Karma was saying without, jumping to the extreme end of the spectrum and saying that love doesn't exist, just get with a guy for money. Like for me, I don't want to look at an 80-year-old respectfully. Like I just don't want to look at a guy who I'm not attracted to. Like I don't want to go to a guy in a nursing home and like count on being in his will or whatever. Like that to me, that's just icky to me. I don't want to do that. So I just feel like in a relationship, when you are your most evolved, self-actualized self, I feel like the men you entertain will also be, you know, on a similar wavelength. And I think that that does make it easier to have the type of relationship that Trigger was talking about. Like when she was saying, like in a relationship, like kind of both, there's going to be like a mutual flow. There's going to be, like the connection between, the two people. I think you can have all of that, if you have first done the work on yourself. So I 100% agree. It starts with you. But, I'm never going to be of the mindset that love isn't real. Just get with a guy for money, just be in the nursing home and he's 80 years old. Like, I'm never going to be of that mindset. But I do think work on yourself first, and the things that you attract into your life, will be of a higher caliber. And I'll land there for now.
Okay, all right. Okay, Gabrielle. I'll just say, you guys, I'm gonna let Money speak, and then I'll say something, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, you guys, because I've been going for 2 hours and 36 minutes. I didn't know. Y'all know once I start hitting the 2 hour mark, I start getting antsy. All right. Let me go up here to Money. Go ahead, Money. Did you have something to say, sis?
No, ma'am. Listen, I appreciate you for allowing me to voice how I feel. I appreciate all of the women and how they feel. Also, I just want to say I'm just here to gold dig, quote unquote, if that's what they want to call it. And I only care about that. I don't want love. I just need that. That's it. Where is the Chanel bag? I mean, I am so in love with myself. I love being by myself. I'm fulfilled by myself. And I think as an introvert or a loner, I think that's what it is basically for me. I just like being home alone and stuff. I don't want no man in my house. Yeah, I just don't want them around. I like peace and quiet. Give me the 50 cats and a rocking chair. I am A-okay. But I respect how everyone feel. We're all on different levels, especially when it comes to dealing with men. And I'm okay with that. She has her right to feel that way. Y'all have y'all right in y'all marriages. I have my right in my loneliness. And I'm really not lonely. I'm really fulfilled. And I think that's where it comes from. It's like, I don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? Even if he is good and he's putting in the 50%, I just don't want men around. And I feel like that's just the status that some women are at now in today's society. I just don't think it's worth the risk. But like I said, I agree with everyone. I appreciate you for having me. I love your conversations. You're very smart to me, very logical, very fair, and I love it here. So thank you so much. I'm going to drop, and I'll continue to listen until you're done.
All right, thank you so much, Money, and I appreciate you coming up here, and I appreciate your perspective. And I always appreciate it when we as Black women, we all have our own perspectives and stuff, and we can, debate and we can go back and forth. But at the end of the day, we can respect each other's, differences in thought and still love each other at the end of the day. I really love that, and I really enjoy that, because even though we're all Black women, we all come from different walks of life and different perspectives. We're not monolithic. And so we won't agree on everything. We won't agree on everything, but the most important thing is making sure that we agree on how much we love each other as sisters. And that's the only thing that I ever want to put forth, the most part, is that we need to focus on loving each other. You know what I'm saying? As sisters, really. And I really do try to do that in my real life too. Even with Black women that I don't know, I just try to lead with love all of the time. Like I said, y'all know when I said earlier, Janine, just a girl. Oh, my goodness. I even tried with her, but once I really see that, like, you really are like an enemy to like other Black women, that's the only time when I just be feeling like, okay, I gotta revoke the sister pass. I gotta revoke the sister card. I can't look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But for the most part, I try my best. I try my best. You know what I'm saying? I even try to let women get it off. Even if they get smart with me, I try to let them get it off. But if it's too much, yeah, I will drop them money. But I do try. But like I said, I love y'all. And I love every last one of y'all. And I appreciate all the things that y'all said. I really do. And I respect everybody's opinion, because I understand that everybody and how the opinions that you have is shaped by your life and your experiences. And everybody's experiences of life is valid. And who am I to say that it's not? You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? But let me keep going I guess I'll go to Simply Carmel first, and then I'll go to Gabrielle and let her finish it out. Go ahead, Simply.
Hey, yeah, I just I definitely, it's crazy because it's just so crazy how two things could be true at once. You know what I'm saying? Like at the same time. Like I definitely agree with everything that you were saying, but I also agree with a lot of stuff that Money was saying too. And even Gabby. But yeah, I it's crazy because it's like either it's one extreme or it's the other. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no I find that so weird, and I feel like a lot of people forget that two things to be true, or three things to be true, really. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I definitely appreciate all of your your talking points and everything like that. Triggered. You be how the hell do you be coming up with these daggone talking points? But do you write them down? But anyway, um yeah I luckily I am one, like at one point I gave up on love too, but I also had to realize, like, yes, like I have to become the things that I yearn for and the things that I desire. And even when it comes down to desires too, I feel like and I'm not gonna make this too long, but I know you're trying to wrap this up, but even when it comes down to desires, I feel like as women we need to really like do the work to figure out, like, where are these desires coming from, and not even if we think that they're wrong or anything like that, but a lot of things could be stemming from the lack of something that you may have, like you was just saying, a lot of our experiences shape our reality. And so I feel like even when it comes down to desires, like sometimes I feel like um we really need to dig and figure out where some of these desires come from. But yeah, it's all about self-love and protecting Black women and women in general, and all of that. We're definitely not going to agree on everything. And yeah, luckily, like I said, I'm kind of like in the middle too. Like I'm still trying to figure out what I want. Like I don't know if I want to be married. Sometimes I feel like I do. Sometimes it's just like maybe I need to go out and buy my own self a ring, because I think sometimes I just want the ring. But that's something I'm still trying to, dig and figure out. But right now I do feel like I got the best of both worlds. Like, like I said, I have a man, he's not rich or nothing like that. He's not sending me 10K. But at the end of the day, he still takes me out. He still, and I think that's really just what it comes down to. You don't have to have a rich man. You just have to have a man who actually give a hell about you. You know what I'm saying? And want to see the best for you, and want to love you, want to show up for you and, just actually want that companionship. And, we don't live together. You know what I'm saying? I still get to come home, have my bed, my kids. I'm not putting my kids risk. I'm not risking my kids' safety, bringing ninjas in and out the house. You know what I'm saying? So there is an in between. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there don't always have to be one extreme or the other. But I'll go ahead and land there.
All right. I appreciate you, Simply. Appreciate you, sis. Let me go up here to Gabrielle.
Yeah, Trigger, I just wanted to say thank you for hosting this live. I know everyone didn't agree on everything, but I really thought it was a great live. I think it's always healthy to hear different perspectives and where everyone's coming from. And I always try to be on TikTok to catch your lives. So hopefully I'll be on for the next one because I know you're wrapping up. But just I want to say thank you.
No problem, Gabrielle. I always appreciate it when you come. I always appreciate hearing your perspective. Always appreciate your I don't know, like your courtesy and your kind spirit, all of that. Love you, sis, and I really appreciate you. And I appreciate all of the ladies that came up on the live today. Super Villain, T, Rave Bay, Simply Caramel, Gabrielle, Money, and I think that was everybody that came up. Oh man, I hope it is, because that now my mind is going blank. But I think that was everybody that came up. I appreciate everybody that came up, and I appreciate all of you guys' perspectives. And I just want to say that if you're listening to this, I love you. I love you as a sister, and I hope that, you have a great weekend. And I'm sending you nothing but positive energies and positive vibes. But just understand that the reality that you have is the reality that you create and what you perceive. If you perceive nothing but the negative, a lot of times the negative will find you and seek you and follow you and attach to you. If you think the positive, you can attach positive to you, and the positive will attach and seek you as well. If you think something is going to be jacked up before you even find out, you know what I'm saying? Then you don't know. I know that I personally have a fear of doctors, and because of things that have happened in my life, of things that I've seen. And I remember one time I was going to the doctor's office and I was scared about this procedure that was about to happen, and the procedure happened and everything was good, and the doctor told me, he said, "Hey, you spent all this time being scared about it." But everything was good. He was like, if you had spent all that time just thinking positively about it, then you wouldn't have wasted all those negative emotions that you felt in reaching up to the upcoming of the procedure. You know what I'm saying? And he said it really nice too. So hopefully I didn't say that. He said it really nice and really kind. And I was thinking to myself, like, you're right. So basically, moving forward, if nothing bad has happened or yet, then I should think positively, because that'll bring more positivity towards me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'll see y'all later. I hope y'all have a great day. And I just wanted to say I appreciate all of y'all. Love y'all. And if you're a Black woman listening to this, just know that you're amazing, awesome, special, valuable. You the bomb.com. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise.